Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 1115th edition of still the most exciting of them all, NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series action at Bowman Gray Stadium. And tonight, it's Great Clips Crash Fest. Tons of racing action on hand tonight, all the local divisions, plus the great novelty divisions, the chain race, the skid plate race, and demo derbies. I'm Matthew Dillner, joined by James Pike, a native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And folks, we are set. We are in hurry-up offense mode here. Let's give you the starting lineup for the first race tonight. A stadium stock 15 lapper. On the pole in the Disco Turkeys, number 51, it's Andrew Cates. To the outside, the Get It Clean, number 20, Patrick Mullen.
Starting in the third position, the Black Sand Company, number 74, Matt Alley out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, to his outside. In the main line equipment, number 90 from Lexington, North Carolina, Robert Stremiska.
Starting fifth in the Patriot Market 47, it's Tyler McDonald. To the outside, the Leapfrog Landscaping 59, it's Isaac Harris.
In the number 7, New River Welding and Rigging Machine, starting 7th, it's not a Mustang, it's not a Pinto, it's a Pintang! Out of Boxville, North Carolina, Chris Allison. Starting in 8th, the Lindley Plumbing, number 43, out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Brandon Brindle.
Starting 9th, it's the number 11, the Clifton Plumbing machine for Sidney Sanders. And to the outside, the number 83, Frankenstein, it's Michael Cates.
Starting in 11th, out of 12th, representing Clifton Plumbing in the number 24 to Moxville, North Carolina, A.J. Sanders.
And the last row on the field, the number 44, his son, Blaze Sanders in the Dean's Tree Service 44, and Andre Chavez in the number 15 Stacking Pennies machine. Folks, not up at our normal 7:45, so we're in a little hurry-up offense here. But to set the stage tonight for what we are going to see, we'll see a pair of 15-lap stadium stock races. What else do we have on hand here? Because it's the night of twins.
It's a more, I guess, standard program in that there's not a longer race this evening. So a lot of shorter races. 2 sportsman races for 20 laps, a street stock race for 20 laps, 2 twin modified 25s, and then a skid race and a chain race and a demo derby all tonight as the lights are going to go off the modern Chevrolet pace car. And next time by, Matthew Dillner, Jimmy Absher is going to pull that Chevy into the infield in the North Turn, and we're going to get going at the Madhouse.
Lions, Tigers, and Bears, oh my. A beautiful crowd has entered this great historic arena, and now they rise to their feet clapping as we await the first checkered flag, and the first green flag comes first, and the stadium stalkers are the ones that kick it off.
Off they go. Great drive there on the outside for Patrick Mullen, trying to get clear of Andrew Cates as they go to the North Turn for the first time. Outside line with good momentum. Look at Bugs Stremiska to the outside of Andrew Cates to try and get second before they hit the stripe.
I'll tell you what, P. Mullen took off like a shot out of a cannon, but here comes Bug Stremiska looking to the bottom of P. Mullen. Side by side now into the North Turn. Here comes Bug. Give him the lead.
The main line equipment, number 90, takes the main line on the inside here at Bowman Gray to the front. Bug Stremiska out in front, Mullen in second. Really good battle here for third beginning to develop. You've got Andrew Cates. Hold off, or rather, yes. Oh, no, contact over in the corner. They're going to tie themselves up and stack up for the entire field, and that should bring out our first call, 811.
And the two drivers that don't love it right now are Andrew Cates in that Disco Turkeys beautiful number 51, and Isaac Harris, Rock Harris's kid, right there, getting locked together in the North Turn.
And now I could tell that Cates was struggling a little bit just to try and find some speed. Wasn't able to hold that pole draw that he picked up to start this race, and was definitely blocking and making sure that he tried to keep Harris behind him. And they got together in the North Turn, ended up tied up, and all of a sudden, here we go. They're off in the corner, and we're under yellow for the first time.
Well, that didn't take long. And there are the two drivers talking. Great shot from that camera. Knows what to look for here at Bowman Gray. And look at this crowd here, folks. Oh, what a beautiful crowd on a gorgeous May night. So much going on. The Truck Series race earlier today up the road at North Wilkesboro Speedway, of course. It's All-Star Weekend for NASCAR at the Great North
New Hampshire brings the modern Chevrolet pace car down pit road. Bug Stremiska, Patrick Mullen, and then Tyler McDonald's made his way up to the third spot as we go back to green. Stremiska jumps ahead, hits about a car length gap by the time they hit this stripe. Mullen does a nice job getting away to all single file as they work their way through the south turn as McDonald peeks to the inside, but mostly single file down the backstretch.
Well, the guy to look out for, I think, right now is in the fourth position. That's because he's got to win. He's got to win, and he's got a second-place finish, and that is the white knight-looking car, the Richard Petty number 43 of Brandon Lee Brendel. Brandon Lee Brendel has been the hottest driver. He is the points leader, and right now he's knocking on the back door of McDonald.
Oh, this could get really fun because Mullen was all kinds of sideways in the corner coming out of the north turn. Got really, really loose. Wondering if there may be an issue on that car as Mullen begins to fall back. And Brendel will look to the inside of McDonald to try and get second. Thought about sticking the nose in there. Thought better of it. Gets back in line. But McDonald now trying to hang on to P2 under that fierce charge from Brandon Lee Brendel.
And all the Goliaths, we've got a yellow flag. It's Matt Alley in that beautiful number 74 Clearview detail machine has spun, bringing out the third caution flag of this race. But, hey, this is a big hitter right here because you got Stremiska leading, okay? You've got Tyler McDonald, who is in second place, and Tyler McDonald right now has been a very red-hot race car in this stadium stock division, sitting in fourth in points. But your points leader's in third, and then, of course, the great A.J. Sanders is in fourth. There is that 74 car that spun and brought out your yellow flag.
And if there's anything that stands out to me just looking at this, glancing at this field, the top five drivers right now in the running order are consistently five of the fastest cars in this division. So you've got all kinds of firepower at the front of the grid that will go to battle with one another. We'll be at the green flag, which will be next time by. Lights off on the modern Chevrolet pace car. We'll go green right at about the halfway point of this race. 8 laps will go up on the board. Stremiska, McDonald, Brendel, Sanders, Mullen, your top five. Chris Allison in the Pintang machine in sixth as we get ready to rock and roll one more time. Stremiska with the ability to control this field on the two.
I don't know. You just have a bunch of fast cars up there, and don't look now. The Pintang is also creeping his way up, but the green flag is back out in front of a back crowd here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Stremiska stretching out a little bit into turn number 1 and turn number 2 as we're halfway in this 15-lap stadium stock race. Brendel now peeking to the inside.
And McDonald resuming the battle that they had. Mullen falling back a little bit further behind them. Stremiska starting to stretch out this lead as McDonald is definitely holding up Brendel and might be holding up A.J. Sanders too. Stremiska's opened this gap up to maybe about 2 or 3 car lengths. And at what point, I think, does Brandon Lee Brendel start to think about using the bumper? I think if he wants to win, he's got to make something happen quickly.
You know, he doesn't want to get into him and booger him up there because I'll tell you what, both cars are fast, but right now it looks like the 47 is a lot slower. Well, that's because he's playing defense. Oh, we got a big one in turn number 1. Sidney Sanders' car is up kind of on its side there, and there is the Andrew Cates machine, the Disco Turkey. You see it crumpled up on the hood, and the dispensary number 11 is wedged in there into the turn 1 wall.
Tough break for both of them.
Yes.
And quite frankly, that must have been pretty significant because it's hard to, especially a stadium stock, it's hard to wedge one of these cars up against the fence like that. And this is also kind of a new dynamic because for those who have been watching our shows at Bowman Gray and for those who saw the clash in the spring, we replaced the entirety of the outside wall. Out went the guardrail. In comes this brand new state-of-the-art safer barriers. So this is a bit of a new adventure for the drivers and for our track safety crew as well.
He's easy with that hood there. That's a Disco Turkey hood. Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing, and we'll be back with the rest of this first great race.
Choice Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your #1 source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling on the road and off. Choice Tire and Automotive offers check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. They bring the best quality service possible in everything they do, and their team is committed to providing the best workmanship and customer experience possible. Choice Tire and Automotive's hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m., Give Choice Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
Welcome back to coverage of the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Series at Bowman Gray Stadium, where the cars have just begun to move after the incident over at the beginning of the South Turn between Sidney Sanders and Andrew Cates. I'm James Pike. He's Matthew Dillner. This is the lineup that we have going tonight. Leading off with the stadium stock race, 2 sportsman races, 2 modified races, another stadium stock race, a skid race, a chain race, and a demo derby to wrap up the night.
Oh, you got to love the end of the night, just destroying everything. Just end of the night, just throw it all in there and just destroy. Seek and destroy. Like
It's
Metallica.
Crash Fest.
It is Great Clips Crash
Fest.
Yes.
We got to come up with something like fun to do with that.
Well, like we did with
The Truliant Federal Credit Union Night of Destruction.
Well, it is Great Clips Crash Fest.
Crash Fest.
No, we're trying too hard.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Not try too hard.
We've got 3 hours plus to figure this out.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
This is a good night of racing, though, and you can't see it right now because you're looking at these beautiful race cars. But what a crowd we have tonight! My gosh. Beautiful night. I'd say approximately 15,000 people have gathered here at the great stadium in Winston-Salem that was built and opened in 1937. A true historic landmark in the United States of America and in the sport of auto racing.
A WPA facility built during the New Deal that I believe is hosting a fair amount of people that probably are doing the truck and Bowman Gray double.
Yeah.
When North Wilkesboro is about 45 minutes away, so pretty easy drive if you got folks that have come in, and we'll probably see a lot of that next week when the NASCAR Xfinity Series runs in the afternoon at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, we usually have a good crowd the Saturday night before the Coca-Cola 600. Jimmy Absher will bring the modern Chevrolet pace car to its place in the middle of the infield in the north turn. Robert Stramiska will lead the field back to the green flag on lap 10. He and Tyler McDonald get back going, and Brandon Lee Brindle swings it out sideways. He's going to have to hold off A.J. Sanders. A really, really stout top 5 here as we go back to green.
Oh, keep an eye on Sanders and the 43 right now. The battle is on for the 3rd position. Sanders looked low, but no space underneath Brindle. 4 laps to go.
I think it's a great indicator of how greasy this track is that we're seeing a lot of these stadium stocks fishtail. They're all really struggling for grip in the rear end, and you see that especially when this race is the first part of the program. The track's a little bit warmer than what these cars normally see when they run deeper in the program and the sun's gone down and we're under full cover of darkness. So loose racetrack conditions benefiting Bugs Tremiska more than anybody else, and even A.J. Sanders doesn't look like he's got a little bit of that long-run speed that he needs coming to 3 laps to go.
The 24 with a little bit of a hiccup on the backstretch. That car slowed down dramatically, did the number 24, losing about 6 to 7 car lengths on the number 43, who's now putting the pressure on for second as we come to the white flag.
Brandon Lee Brindle trying to get that runner-up spot, but Bugs Tremiska way out in front of this. It would take something big for Tremiska not to end up in victory lane here in a half a lap. Brindle makes the pass on McDonald, but it will not be enough to get the job done at the pointy end of the field as Bugs Tremiska comes across the line to win the first race here of Great Clips Crash Fest. Stramiska is your winner in the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series first feature, and it's his first win of 2025.
Yeah, a guy that doesn't race here every week, and his 5th career win for Bugs Stramiska. Robert Stramiska, as we used to call him. He's run a lot of race cars, late models out west. He's just he works at RCR. Gets his 5th career win and first win since May of 2023.
Have a feeling that I believe he's on Jesse Love's car, so I know Jesse
Yep.
talked about it a little bit at Rockingham, so I imagine that that whole 2 crew is probably excited, ecstatic, elated to see.
Jesse's probably watching.
Yeah. So hello, Jesse, if you are, but I know they're really thrilled to see their guy get it done here in the stadium stocks, and what was a really entertaining race for this division.
This is an absolutely beautiful car too. This is when you get up close to this car, you could tell how well this car was fabricated by Stramiska and his crew. So taking a lot of pride in that number 90 machine is Stramiska, and taking that famed victory lap in the Leonard Salvage mainline equipment number 90 and pulling into Carolina Wood Floors victory lane is the driver of the number 90. We'll be going down to, I believe, Chris Carter in victory lane. Let's throw it down to him right now.
Robert Stramiska returning, as I said earlier. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 feature wins on this car right over here. Mainline equipment, some of his main sponsors. Robert Stramiska as he gets ready to get out of this number 90. Make some noise! So, this is pretty cool, my friend. Me and you in Victory Lane, huh? And what's really yeah, it has. And what's even interesting as well is you got some teammates that's going to be here later tonight. Chris Bell and Danny Stockman is going to be in the chain race, and you won this race. Man, what a night.
Yeah, I had to give him something to shoot for, so this is, I'm happy I got the race, but I really can't wait till they race.
Are you going to help them out? Yeah, don't y'all have spotters or something?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to be up watching in the beer garden.
Who all you want to thank, my friend?
Graphics, Mainline Equipment, Marcellus Strolling, Daniels Tower Service, Durham's Engines, LP Gear, Port City Race Cars, Joe's Race Products, and Bassett Racing Wheels.
Good job, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's going to the beer garden, Stramiska, after that win, and we're not going to the beer garden, but we are taking a break on Flow Racing. We'll be back with Sportsman Race number 1. We are back on Flow Racing here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium. The first sportsman race has hit the track. Let's give you the starting lineup on the pole tonight. In the Shitty Coolers, number 15, it's Cowboy T. Dawson. To the outside, the Auto Supply of Thomasville, number 38, the great veteran gentleman, Mitch Gales.
Starting in third out of Daytona Beach, Florida, in the number 1 ShopDanielDye.com machine, that is Daniel Dye. Frequent competitor in NASCAR National Series. Your ears do not deceive you. Starting to his outside, it's Donkey Strong. The weight interior is number 12 out of Curtisville, North Carolina, driven by Justin Taylor.
Starting 5th tonight, the veteran in the number 28 Velocity machine, it's Billy Gregg. To the outside, the Pro Choice Detailing, number 51, it's Austin Taylor.
Starting in 7th in the American Junk Removal Company, number 37 out of Poptown, North Carolina. In 8th, Elkin, North Carolina, driving the 01 tonight, Marty Wilmoth.
Starting 9th in the Jerry Hunt Supercenter, number 23, it's Ryan Robertson. To the outside, the Alliance Insurance Group, 21, for the Tiger, Tommy Neal.
Starting in 11th, it's the Furnace, the Avery Savard, number 24, out of Oswego, New York, A.J. Burness. The Furnace, starting to his outside, the 77 of Jeff Snow.
Starting 13th in the Bark Buddies, number 8, it's the Dog, Kyler Kepley. To the outside, the Apex Race Labs 97, Kid Dynamite, Justin Cummins.
Starting in the 15th spot in the Goats RV Repair, number 03 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it's the Rockstar, Sterling Clemens. Starting in 16th, the 2023 Division Champion, the Davidson Steel, number 31 out of Walburg, North Carolina, Chase Robertson.
Last year's champion starts 17th tonight, the Graphics Unlimited, number 55 for Zach Ord. To the outside, a one-time Great Horse, the number 14.
Devin, driven by Connor Branch.
The unlucky guy to draw 21st. Dead last scratch on the field. He's won already this season, but he'll be in the number 22 tonight, the Wesley Thompson machine. It'll be Dylan Ward, and that's next 22. Here we go. Sportsman race number 1. The Wild and Woolly Street Stocks will be later. These cars look similar, but man, they put on a show. The Sportsman division set to entertain on Crash Fest night. Green flag is out, and T. Dawson is your leader.
Dawson and Gales come together a little bit. Here comes Daniel Dye to the inside. He may get the race lead before we get all the way through the north turn. Dye to the point, and he's got Billy Gregg charging on the inside, trying to go underneath Dawson for the second spot as they come back to the line.
Daniel Dye wastes no time. Lap number 1, the one's on the board. Here comes the 28. Move him at the second place. Ryan Robertson now charging into third. Here comes the 21, the Tiger, Tommy Neal, and Dawson gets spun. Sheet metal flying.
That was a near disaster for Chase Robertson, who almost got caught up, and that is, you see, the completely torn up front end of T. Dawson's machine. Tommy Neal with some damage as well, but Chase Robertson just getting the side of his car clipped. That could have been really, really big for the 2033 champion of this division, but for now, okay.
Tommy Neal isn't happy. He just drove up right there, and, T. Dawson, just lost it there. They had nowhere to go. But, folks, it's Great Clips Crash Fest.
Even get to the Crash Fest designated races, I see.
I mean, there was sheet metal flying everywhere.
Although, and I'll be curious to see what this looked like here in real time, but there was so much happening over in 3 and 4. If you're Neal, you can be mad at the situation, but I don't know if there's any one person to pin that.
Well, here comes T. Dawson. He's out of his car right there. And Richard Childress, we have heard, is in the house tonight. The guy that, sold peanuts here as a kid, raced here, and, of course, the legendary
peanuts that Richard Childress sold in the stands here once upon a time. So, not to be totally biased, but don't mind getting my start in racing at the same spot that somebody like RC did. Not a bad way to go, right?
RC's an American hero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw what happened when darn intruders tried to enter his house.
Right.
You don't mess with Richard Childress. Mm-mm. I was walking out of North Wilkesboro the other day, and I was watching, and it was like new school, old school. Mm-hmm. Walking out, it was some dude in skinny jeans, and then to the right, the Wranglers and the boots of Richard Childress. And I was like, hey, it's nothing wrong with new school, but I was like, that's the perfect picture right here. You got North Wilkesboro tradition, you got Wrangler jeans, you got old school North Carolina, and you got some skinny jeans to the left.
I'm wondering if the skinny jeans might have been my buddy Pulley.
I don't know who the gentleman was. I don't judge, buddy.
No, just because he's got a passion.
My nephew wears skinny jeans.
He's a little bit more fashionable than some of the other people in the car store pits, and loves to rock old school vintage gear. And was in a Canadian.
No, it wasn't him. No.
Different person.
Yeah, okay. Different person. Right. I know who you're talking.
Well,
about.
We love Buddy anyway. So.
Well, here we go. 2 laps on the board, and okay, if you had, honey, let's get a dinner and let's sit by the TV and let's watch Bowman Gray on Flow tonight. What do you think's going to happen? Nobody would have this on their bingo card, that Daniel Dye, who races in NASCAR, Truck Series, Xfinity, like ARCA, would be not only in the lead, but even racing here at the Madhouse. This was a big surprise to us when Justin Mincy texted me this morning and says, you'll never guess who was there for morning practice. Yeah, Daniel Dye.
Well, I think it's a testament to the draw and the allure of Bowman Gray Stadium that you can get people like Daniel Dye to come in on a moment's notice like this. And it's one of those fun things about this place, because you can go look up and down the entry lists every single week, and every once in a while you'll see a surprise that'll be some big name. I remember Bobby Labonte and Skip Flores are 2 people that I think of in the modifieds who, when they first made starts here, same kind of thing, where it was sort of a last-minute deal that they hadn't necessarily publicized. Obviously, we know now it's a little bit different. Into the field, and now is at the front of it early on in the going. Now, really stout cars behind him. You've got the Robertsons back there. Connor Branch not far off. Zach gain a few spots when you go back to green flag racing, but You Daniel Dye, that clean air, and just, if anything, I think the room to roam on the track, that can make a huge difference, especially if you don't have the same kind of experience as the Billy Greggs, the Robertson, A.J. Burness behind him. That can be huge to sort of level the playing field for Daniel Dye in a way that I don't think it would necessarily be the same if he were restarting maybe 5th or 6th, as looks like the 14 machine is stopped there in the middle of the backstretch. That is Welcome North Carolina's Jim Schoaf, who's got some damage from that incident as well.
Oh, Jim Schoaf, man. I love seeing him anytime we're at Bowman Gray Stadium. Former winner here at Bowman Gray Stadium is Schoaf, and this is a long caution here, but, we'll try to get back underway here shortly.
Jim Schoaf, fabulous lawn care man during the week. He's got a great lawn care business. I know multiple people that, he can cut grass, do pine straw. See a lot of pine straw in the spring around here. Really, really good.
Let's
We're going to take a quick break here while we've got a moment on Flow Racing. We'll be back with more coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series after this. Welcome back to Flow Racing's coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from historic Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Under the yellow flag, 2 laps into our first feature of the evening for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series as we clean up an incident that took place between T. Dawson and a handful of other cars at the end of the north turn. Turn 4, for those who are not familiar with the sort of lay of the land at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's not turn 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the south turn and the north turn. At some point, manual timing and scoring here, so wouldn't even matter. We wouldn't even have any data to bring in, but it's all hand scored here at Bowman Gray too.
Well, let's also make note here, if you're watching on Flow Racing, apologize for some technical difficulties that we've been having tonight, limiting us to one camera at times. Our hard-working crew here is working their butts off diligently in the background. Of course, you can't see them doing so, but Chuck Bush has the sweats on right now. I think his chicken fingers are going to go uneaten tonight. But, yeah, we're working really hard behind the scenes to get that rectified. But right now, hey, we still have a Saturday night short track slam fest for you at Bowman Gray. And, yes, you said the north turn, south turn. You're looking at the north turn right there. That's where the field house is, the locker rooms for Winston-Salem State University. It used to be a little field house there. But, Daytona Beach, the hometown of that driver, Daniel Dye, that tradition – was big with NASCAR, early NASCAR history when Bill France went down to the beach. You've got the north turn of the beach course, the Daytona Beach and Road Course, and the south turn. Well, that tradition carried on here when Bill France and Alvin Hawkins co-promoted this place as NASCAR's first weekly racing track in 1949. North turn, south turn, NASCAR history.
Fieldhouse has gotten a little bit bigger, too. You made the point.
Just a little.
I believe the new 2005, if my memory serves me correctly, updated and was very, very useful for all the national level dignitaries during the clash. Held drivers' meetings, media center, hospitality, all sorts of fun stuff. Jimmy Hampshire pulls the modern Chevrolet pace car off. We'll go back to green on lap 3.
This is going to be cool because you've got the youngin' with very little experience here and the great veteran Billy Gregg to his backside. Green flag is out. Great job on the restart by Daniel Dye, getting the power down and making sure Billy Gregg didn't get to his inside and get a run. But Chase Robertson moves to third.
Team swap there for the Robertson machine. So Chase goes up. Daniel Dye ran up the racetrack. Billy Gregg went with him, and that allowed Chase Robertson to close into both of them and make that a pretty tight battle as Gregg's starting to put the pressure on because he knows if he doesn't get the pass on Daniel Dye done quickly, Chase Robertson will have something to say about that battle.
Here comes the bumper tag. Welcome to Bowman Gray Stadium, Daniel Dye. We have a spinner. The furnace, A.J. Burness, has spun in the north turn. That 24, he'll try to get it righted here and get back underway. But Daniel Dye, 4 laps on the scoreboard right now. It's Dye, Billy Gregg, Chase Robertson, Ryan Robertson, and Connor Branch in the 4th position. 5th will be Zach Orr. 6th, Sterling Plemons, the dog, Kyler Kepley, and then the 38 car of Mitch Gales.
Billy Gregg seeking his 26th career win at Bowman Gray Stadium. He has 4 in this division and 21 in the street stock division at the Madhouse. Trying to move on past a quarter century and hit the next level as the lights are off the modern Chevrolet pace car. We're going to get the green flag on lap 5 of 20 after A.J. Burness, the furnace, went around in the middle of the north turn. Modern Chevrolet pace car is off. We'll then handful of laps. Green flag. Waits. Now it unfurls. Now they take off. Another good restart there for Daniel Dye.
Daniel Dye driving a Sterling Plemons machine. Yellow flag is out. We have 2 cars. It's Marty Wilmoth and the Kid Dynamite machine of Justin Cummins stopped on the backstretch. They look to be locked together in the entry of turn number 3. And Wilmoth trying to push forward there. And Kid Dynamite's like, wait, what are you doing, man? Get off me.
Well, I'm no expert, Matthew Dillner, but I think it's a little bit easier to make these cars do what you want them to do if you keep them separated.
Well, don't pay no mind.
Right. Fair point.
If you're under 18. That's terrible. Sorry, Justin Cummins. Your moment on TV, and here I am ruining it for you. The red, Big Red, the Daniel Davis towing. Daniel Dye's the leader. Daniel Davis towing machine is coming out.
So we'll continue to see this field work their way around this famed quarter mile as they try and get those 2 cars unstuck from one another. And as they do, a little bit of breathing room for us here, Matthew Dillner. A little bit of time to just to hang out and look at how these things go, figure out how this goes. Dye, Billy Gregg, more of a name that you would know if you've watched street stock competition here. And then, I touched on it a little bit, but that looked to be a sort of almost a team order of sorts or some sort of planned strategy there for Chase Robertson to get the pass done on Ryan Robertson. Ryan got out of the group pretty quickly, and they made that swap so fast that there wasn't to take advantage of that all in an effort to try and get max driver points for Chase and max team points for both the 31 and the 23 car as the field will now come to a halt on the backstretch.
You see that number 8 car right there of Kyler Kepley, and I've just got to say something. This week was a beautiful example of community in the Bowman Gray Stadium pit area. Casey Kepley, a beloved personality here who drove that race car and now turned over the realm of that car to his son. Also spots for Brandon Ward as well as many others. And, for like the second time, he had a brain tumor. And they had to do, pretty tough surgery on him. And it was, he detailed to me that it was about a 1% chance. And guess what, folks? Everybody in this community prayed. Everybody got together. And Casey Kepley Jr. not only survived that surgery, he's here today. Walking around. Justin Mincy and I gave some pretty big hugs today with a smile on his face. They even said, no matter where we finish tonight, we won. And that's absolutely beautiful. There's so much stuff here at Bowman Gray where people knock this place because of, the physicality and, sometimes how that raucous crowd and the reactions and the viral moments. But it's moments like that where human beings have real life struggles. And we're all reminded of that. And everybody comes together, whether it's to help out their race car. People are helping them out with their race car yesterday and today. Or just a simple prayer and reaching out. And it's great that father and son are here today doing battle. Casey Kepley, man, we're so happy. So happy you survived. And Kyler's out there doing you proud.
No, a really, really neat story. And I think we're all thrilled for Casey. And
yes.
I think sort of to your point, is different, but I also think this community a little bit tighter than most that you see in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series, and you end up with great stories where I saw it all across social this week. Everybody was thrilled when that surgery came successfully for Casey Kepley. So we'll go back to racing, though. Lights off on the modern Chevrolet pace car. 5 laps on the board. Daniel Dye in control of this. Backs up that restart pretty heavily as he takes off. Gets about a car-length gap to Billy Gregg, but Gregg is going to try and reel him back in with Chase Robertson waiting in the wings. And a battle now developing for 5th between Connor Branch and Zach Orr.
Branch and Orr side by side for the 5th position right now. That is the battle on the track. Connor Branch, who won last week, the 55, who had engine troubles last week, resulting in a poor finish and a real hit in the points, is trying to get that 55 up front, and he's trying to catch Chase Robertson, who's the leader, but he's got to get by Branch.
Continue to fight for spots. Robertson looking at Billy Gregg. Here's a stat for you. Daniel Dye is 21 years old. Billy Gregg has been racing here at Bowman Gray for over 25 years. So Billy Gregg's entire career is longer than Daniel Dye's entire life right now.
Whoa.
As Gregg goes way up the racetrack, clears a whole bunch of space for the Robertsons to go through. And Connor Branch will have the opportunity to take 4th away. Zach Orr may get 5th. Sterling Clemens may get 6th. Billy Gregg may go all the way back to 7th here as they hit 9 laps on the board.
Well, don't look now as we look at this ferocious battle right now, and we look at the 28 holding on for dear life with the 03 underneath them as we come to 5 laps to go. Don't look now, but Daniel Dye might have some trouble at the front of this field, 20 lapper, because Daniel Dye now has the 31 of Chase Robertson to his back bumper in the north turn. The battle is on for the lead.
Robertson with a great drive there on entry into the north turn, made up about half a car length just on corner entry alone. Same sort of thing here, and I don't think it's going to be too long before we start seeing a little bit of bumper tag. Ryan Robertson giving Chase some space, but Connor Branch, if these two can't figure this out, will begin to close in, make it a battle for 3rd. Robertson laying off of Daniel Dye's bumper for the moment, but sort of has a bit of a playing with food feel to it.
Well, those are both Dylan Ward built race cars, and they both really rotate well through the center of the corner. And Dye, you could tell, has maybe an experienced spotter in his ear right now, telling him to play defense and to make sure he comes off the corner low and he enters the corner low. You can't expose your entry at this racetrack, because if you do, it will be exploited. And right now, the 31 is trying to exploit it.
You can see Dye backing up the corner, forcing Chase Robertson to just sort of sit. He can't get that good drive on corner exit to get alongside Daniel Dye, and that's a part of the problem right now if you're Chase Robertson. So if you're Robertson, how much longer do you wait before you really start showing some muscle? 5 laps to go in this first Sportsman race, and Robertson's still sitting right on the rear bumper of Daniel Dye.
Can Daniel Dye, in his first attempt here at Bowman Gray Stadium, hang on? Yellow flag is out. Oh, it's Kepley, who slowed dangerously on the outside of turn number 4. Great job by the track throwing that yellow flag. Didn't even see that car. And the dog is not happy. That car is stuffed into the wall. Man, that looked like it was a hard hit by Kepley. He is getting off that helmet right now. Great to see him moving inside of that race car, but he is not happy. He is not happy. Oh, he knows that he's worked on this car for so long. He and his father work on this car in their garage together. His wife as well. Put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this race car, and to see it destroyed here.
Keeping an eye on Kyler Kepley, and he points. He points over at Mitch Gales. It was Mitch Gales that he looked at, and the safety people had to hold him back there a little bit just to make sure that roaring and ranting and raving. They get their saying on this whole deal, but heavy damage there for Casey Kepley.
All right, let's take a quick break on Flow Racing as Kyler Kepley is hot.
Welcome back to coverage of the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Series from historic Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's Great Clips Crash Fest. We're currently working our way through our first feature for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series. 16 laps up on the board, so a handful of laps to go. Daniel Dye has controlled this race primarily from the drop, and yes, that is the Daniel Dye that competes in ARCA and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He's holding off Chase Robertson, Ryan Robertson, and Connor Branch. I wonder, though, with this caution, does this maybe give an opportunity for a Branch in fourth, a Zach Orr in fifth, a Sterling Clemens in sixth? We know those three cars have had speed all season long so far. So does this make this restart a little bit more interesting?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's had incredible restarts. If you've noticed, he's gone kind of late in the box, and he's gone when they're straight, and he hasn't washed up to the outside. He's kind of slowed his starts, so that way the car behind him can't get like a lead launch to get that momentum to try to get to his bottom. Very smart and heady restart so far for a guy that's never raced here.
You can see the national level experience. The way he's backed up his corner entry, forced Chase Robertson to get on the brakes, the way he's just sort of held off on trying to accelerate through the center of the corner. All solve this puzzle as to how to get around Daniel Dye. He won't have a lot of time, though. Green flag back out. Good restart for Dye. Really good restart, though. Length and might have down the backstretch. Tried to peek to the inside. We'll try it again in the north turn.
Physical. The fans are on their feet at the Madhouse right now. The battle is on for the lead. Dye desperately trying to hang on with Chase Robertson, the points leader, to his backside.
Robertson continuing to hound Daniel Dye. Great battle for fourth, too, with Branch or Clemens, and now Billy Gregg's back into it. 18 laps in the board. Does Robertson try and use the bumper a little bit more this time? Does not. Holds off. What happens when they go into the north turn? Will it be a bigger shot to Daniel Dye? No. Again, checks him up through the center of the corner as they come to the white flag.
Chase Robertson, one of the best young stars and best young talents, is on the bumper of the number one. One more attempt in the north turn. Welcome to Bowman Gray Stadium, and welcome to Victory Lane, Daniel Dye. Wow.
Defense to find his way into Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane and gets the job done here in the first feature for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series. Drove right past the flag. I think
he doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, it was just completely jacked up here. So he'll figure it out.
He's
now
going in the
grass. He's going to burn it down in the infield here.
From Daytona Beach, Florida, to the infield football field at Winston-Salem's Bowman Gray Stadium, celebrating. This reminds me of one thing. You know who he's driven for?
Mm-hmm.
Ben Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Ben Kennedy coming here in that NASCAR E-Series, Can-Am E-Series car, and having that big win, kind of reminds me of that. These are two people that are have a very deep connection with each other.
Daniel Dye is the second driver all time to win on debut in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series. The only other driver to do that, primetime Derek Stoltz. He's also the fourth driver all time from the state of Florida to win at Bowman Gray Stadium. So Daniel Dye just made a tremendous amount of history in this division. Big, big night for the Daytona Beach native.
And this driver, he's got a top rope with the Florida stats there. Jeremy Gershner mentioned it. Let's go down to what's going to be an amazing victory lane with that Sterling Clemens Dillon Ward race car and the Daytona Beach winner, Daniel Dye.
Daniel will select one of those numbers. That'll determine how the field will be inverted for the second 20-lapper. Keep your eyes on the scoreboard. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Dye. Daniel, let's come around here to the front. Look at our folks with flow racing up there all over the world, across the country. Daniel Dye, ladies and gentlemen, picks up his first win. Daniel, how does it feel? Go from Xfinity racing to sportsman racing here at the Madhouse.
Yeah, I'm out of breath. These guys race a lot harder than I thought. You know, you see a whole lot of that race fans. Man, it was so much fun. Gotta thank Kel. This came together. We were just sitting around at lunch at College Racing, and here we are. So it's a lot of fun. Got to start 10th. I could just retire now and be undefeated. That might be the right idea.
You'd be 1 for 1, wouldn't you? Batting 1,000. I know you want to thank your sponsors.
Yeah, it's cool that we got to put shopdaniel.com on here.
How about that? This deal comes together at lunch. By the end of dinner, he's in victory lane, and he joins Ben Kennedy, who you mentioned, Matthew, Jeremy Gerstner, and Bill Snowden as the other three Floridians to win at
Bill.
Bowman Gray. We're going to go to break. We'll be back with the first race for the Modifieds here at the Madhouse. More action for the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series next on Flow Racing.
Choice Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your #1 source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling on the road and off. Choice Tire and Automotive offers check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. They bring the best quality service possible in everything they do, and their team is committed to providing the best workmanship and customer experience possible. Choice Tire and Automotive's hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Give Choice Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
At Bowman Gray Stadium, and we are set for the first Twin 25 for the NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. Let's give you the starting lineup. On the pole in the Citrus Safe, #1 from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, it's the ace, Burt Myers. To the outside, they call him the showstopper in the Taylor Auto Parts, #16, it's Chris Fleming.
Starting in third in the Hayes Jewelers Podium's #83 out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina, it's the Rocket, Tim Brown. To its outside in the #4 Advantage Machinery Services car out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the Working Man, Jason Myers. Out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, Slate Myers. To his outside, it's the Z-Max #41 out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. Starting 8th, Bobby Miesemer.
Starting 9th is the #75 Wahlberg Pizza Grill Machine for Lee Jeffries. To the outside, they call him the real deal. The 07 Garage Doors of the Triad Modified for Riley Neal.
Starting in the 11th position, the Quality Embroidery #14 out of Lexington, North Carolina, Trey Hutchins. And starting in 12th in the 00, it's the Flying Taco, the E-Metals Machine out of Monroe, North Carolina, Danny Probst.
Starting in lucky position #13, White Lightning, #79, Ryan Flores. To the outside of It is the great veteran, the man at Tucker Choice Realty, number 5, Muddy Creek Motorsports, Randy Butner.
Starting in the next row in the number 44 M&M Transport Machine out of Kernersville, North Carolina, it's Daniel Beeson. And in the BK Auto Sales number 64 out of Lexington, North Carolina, it's Ethan Truel.
Junior Snow starts 14th. Kyle Southern will start 15th in the L&R Transmissions Machine. Ethan Truel to the outside of him. And then Gerald Robinson Jr. in the 17th position. Alongside him will be the number 17, the Farm Bureau Insurance Machine for Lonnie Oakley.
Susan Harwell, Brandon Butner, Crab Smith, Joey Coulter, the 4th, Andrew Hara, Johnny Murdoch.
Susan Harwell in the 51-cent special.
51-cent special,
That's the nickname of that car tonight, the 51-cent special. And hey, folks, lights are out on the pace car. These are the drivers. A false start.
I don't even know if I've ever heard you say that way. That was
impressive. Going to happen. You've got Myers to the inside. You have Fleming to the outside, each fighting for every single inch, every single advantage. Don't be surprised if you see it this time, but you know me, when it comes to modifieds, I get fired up to say that these are the drivers that live by the grace of God in 600 horsepower.
And we are off and away in our first 25-lapper for the Brad's Golf Course Modifieds. Chris Showstopper, winner of the Madhouse Classic in February, tailing Burt Myers, Tim Brown in third, and a huge battle.
The side-by-side battles are what we have our eye on because the top 5 cars are single file. And now everybody around the famed quarter mile goes single file dancing around this racetrack right now. Myers up front, the 16th.
Brown in third at this point, but we may have a battle developing with Mike Speeney. Speeney's been closing in on Tim Brown these last few laps. Everybody else pretty well spaced out. Riley Neal maybe putting a little bit of pressure on Bobby Meesemer, but standard single-file racing throughout the top 10 for the most part.
Well, you see that 83, the orange car of Tim Brown right there, and last week Tim Brown was in an accident. He broke his finger, destroyed his race car, but they got that race car fixed and back up. 24th place finish in 688 starts here at Bowman Gray Stadium. That is the worst career finish for the Rocket, Tim Brown. Unbelievable that he's raced here since 1991, and that is the worst finish of all time last week.
I know Justin Mincy and Matthew Dillner did a tremendous amount of stat digging to confirm that number. But that's why they are the historians, the keepers of the Madhouses. Junior Snow has a problem. Unfortunate break for Junior Snow. Meanwhile, Burt Myers and Chris Fleming have separated the gap from first and second to third. That's where Tim Brown is, and we have a call 811 before you dig caution out on the track. Our first one of this first modified feature.
25 lappers. If you're new to modified racing here at Bowman Gray, 25 lappers are different from what we typically see. The twin 25s, they'll have an invert in victory lane. They will draw a pill to determine that invert. But what you will see here is no choose cone, no double file restart. Single file. You know, I know my buddy Ben Dodge says double file, make you smile. I agree with that. But hey, we're going to see that single file deal. That's what makes these twin 25s unique. You have to get physical to get around Bowman Gray Stadium. And on twin 25 night, you might have to use the bumper just a little bit more.
I feel like Olivia Newton-John would appreciate that. There you go. Thank you.
Let me hear your bumper talk.
Second time we hit a music.
And years ago, I just loved the term throttle stompers. And he'll go rewatch, Chris Fleming, who's in second place right now, Taylor Auto Parts, number 16. He'll go watch the broadcast, and he'll text me like a confused look, selfie, and he'll be like, throttle jockeys? And I'm like, yeah.
Not chicken jockeys, throttle jockeys.
Throttle jockeys. Throttle stompers, throttle jockeys. daredevils, the penmanship of, some of the early riders in motorsports history is something that's really unique to read. Mincy and I were just diving into the 1907 season here of midget racing at Bowman Gray Stadium and doing a deep dive of history on that. And just to read the colorful way that the descriptors that these journalists would use for auto racing was incredible.
And that's also, here's a Mincy set. That's the second week in a row that we've gotten you to sing on the broadcast. It was Tom Jones last week.
We're going to get canceled.
This week. I think, if anything, you're going to owe an apology to the Taylor Swift. So we're going to have to fix that at some point.
Yeah,
too.
Maybe I'll just do an Olivia Newton-Dillner album cover next.
Boy, oh boy, we're in for a treat if we get that. As the lights are off, the modern Chevrolet pace car. And as we get back to seriousness and business, Burt Myers will lead this field back to green on lap 10 of 25 with Chris Fleming and Tim Brown and Mike. Restart for all of them as we go back to green and they make their way back through the south turn to the backstretch.
Burt Myers leads. Last week, he made history, becoming the second all-time most winning driver at Bowman Gray Stadium, surpassing the great Jimmy Johnson, the sportsman driver who had 98 wins with his 99th. Can he make history again tonight? Yellow flag is out right now, and the number 17 of Lonnie Oakley making his debut is stopped in the, I'd say that's about 40-yard line.
Maybe, that's about 40.
About 40.
Maybe 39.
39. I mean, let's I'm into details, so I kind of agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that plus from all the Wake football games, our seats were about sort of this level from the field over at the Legacy Federal Credit Union.
Wake Forest. This place has such incredible history. Even though I don't like Duke, I can't stand Duke. Duke is puke. Sorry, guys. But the Iron Dukes, that undefeated great college football team, played here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and this was the home of Wake Forest football for quite some time.
From its opening, from when they moved here in 1955 to when they built what was then Grove Stadium in 1969, I believe.
Oh, top rope stat! Look at you, man! You're like an ordinary Justin Mincy.
As one to go. So, and they didn't touch that stadium from its construction until. Didn't really think to it, and then started rebuilding it in 08, and now the fabulous football stadium that goes up against just about any, I think, in the Atlantic Coast Conference. But we're not here for football. That's a fall thing. We're here for racing. We're here to see what Burt Myers can do under these newly installed LED lights that were put in advance of the clash. So we've got a little bit brighter wattage here to throw these names up in lights and see what these drivers can do. As Burt Myers will get us back going on lap 11. Really good jump there, though, for Chris Fleming. He read that restart very, very well. And Burt drives a little bit deeper into the south turn just to counter and make sure that he didn't get the bumper from Chris Fleming right off the jump.
Chris, north turn. The number one with the great traction, the great drive off of that corner. Single file the cars go, coming to lucky lap number 13 for the NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds.
Not particularly convinced that lap lucky number 13 will be all that kind to number 83 because Mike Speedy just put the bumper to Tim Brown in the north turn that last time by. The battle for third beginning to become one of the hottest on the racetrack. A little bit further back, big move there from Ryan Flores to send Riley Neal up the racetrack. Is a little bit of damage for Tim Brown on that left rear. The TV panel there, you can sort of see it. For Mike Speedy just a bit, and that's evened out these battles up and spot. The first true battle now between Brandon Ward and Lee Jeffries.
10 laps to go, coming to 9 laps to go. John Hollam in the fourth. He's in Tennessee right now working. The modified racer just texting us saying, well, Burt Myers is a Hughes, owner of the Bobby Meismer car that's out there right now. He's in Alaska, tuning in to Flow Racing from Alaska.
don't know if there's anybody tuning in here from Alaska. There used to be Alaska Raceway Park on Flow Racing. So this is, I guess, sort of the inverse of that. Yes. So big move there, though, for Mike Speeney. That's the first time I've really seen him genuinely make contact with Tim Brown on this green flag run in particular. 18 laps up on the board, working our way towards 5 to go. Burt Myers has stretched it out over Chris Fleming to the tune of about 2 car lengths. Crab Smith, lap traffic in front of them. Beyond that, Burt Myers should have clear racetrack up until the checkered flag. If we go green the rest of the way, he's clear. It's been sort of a yo-yo with that gap between Tim Brown and Mike Speeney, and Tim Brown's been able to extend it just a little bit, as Burt Myers is going to have to go to the outside to clear Crab Smith. That'll allow Chris Fleming to draw him in a little bit. Fleming caught the lap traffic at a better spot in the track than Burt did.
Well, they are teammates, so.
Right. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So all eyes here, waiting, though, watching, trying to see if Burt Myers can make history and become the second driver at Bowman Gray Stadium in its illustrious history to win 100 races or more over the course of their career. Massive milestone potentially waiting in the wings here in 2 laps.
Burt Myers has a healthy advantage. Big smile, probably more of gritting that teeth right now, but you know the big smile will be off the north turn. White flag is out. One more trip around the famed quarter mile. The number 1, the ace, a virtuoso of victory, Burt Myers. Welcome to the 100 Club at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Burt Myers joins Tim Brown as the second ever Centurion in the history of Bowman Gray Stadium. 100 wins for the out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and for everything that he has accomplished in his career, this one is going to be one of the most special wins he has ever had. And this is a driver that feet cheering on one of the most popular drivers. 99 modified wins, 1 win in the sportsman division, 100 wins for Burt Myers at Bowman Gray Stadium. Burt Myers celebrating and having his moments here with a little bit of an extended victory lap, and it's a large throng of people, a very large throng of people, larger than usual for a group that has a lot of people in it, and this, I think, is going to be quite the interview that we're going to get.
Let's clarify this. 100 wins. You might hear Burt Myers say it's his 99th. It's his 99th modified win as Slate Myers comes up to the car. He has 1 sportsman start, 1 sportsman win. 100 wins at the famed quarter mile. It's now Tim Brown, Burt Myers, Jimmy Johnson, the Centurion Club. Burt Myers, a very special night for a very special NASCAR racing family. Let's go down to victory lane with Randy Pulliam and your winner, Burt Myers.
Sponsored by the Elite Underground Utility. Coming up next, the skid race, right after we get a word with Burt Myers. You'll want to keep your eyes on the scoreboard. Burt Drew number row. Get to talk here, victory lane. You hit that check mark for the pole. picked up your second win in as many weeks, number 99 in your modified career.
Yeah, everyone is special, man. They're saying it's 100, but we'll count that sportsman win on that too. But I don't care how many it is. Just getting here and putting this thing in victory lane is special every time, no matter if it's number 1 or number 1,000. So hats off to these guys for working so hard. I want to thank Bubba's Speed Shop and Philip Smith. I missed them last week. And I missed Triangle Fitness and Nap on Stratford Road. The rest of these guys, Choice Automotive, Universal Technical Institute, Laughlin Concrete, RE, MJ, Little Donuts, Walkertown Girls Softball, Buzzy, Citrus Safe, Pinnacle, Winston-Salem State Ram logo we're carrying this year, Strict Daddies, Bryson Dariel. Man, this is awesome, buddy. And he stayed here with a shirt on. I still missed him. S&P. PSR, Greg Bush. So many people that make this happen. I'm just so blessed to be here.
And Bert, the Mother's Day celebration just continues for another week as he picks up another win. Ladies and gentlemen, Bert Myers heading over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle to pick up hardware. His crew will also get
100 career wins across all divisions for Burt Myers at the Madhouse. History made at one of the most historic short tracks in all of NASCAR. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the skid race here on Great Clips Crash Fest night. More action for the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series next for the Madhouse. Welcome back to coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I'm James Pike. He's Matthew Dillner, alongside our stat assistant Justin Mincy and our field producer Chuck Booth. We're here high above Bowman Gray Stadium. A little note on that modified race too that Burt Myers just won. We've got twin 25s tonight, so we do the Madhouse Scramble. We invert a certain number of finishers based upon whatever number is drawn. And Burt Myers just drew the best invert possible for him. Lowest number you can get, 8. So Burt will start 8th in the second feature. Take the finishing order from here, invert top 8, and we go again. So there's a very real possibility that he gets his 100th modified win specifically tonight, too, if the cards fall the right way for the ace. But we'll worry about that later. What's coming up now is the first race of Great Clips Crash Fest night. It is the skid plate race. If you have never seen a skid plate race here, you've got all these cars that have their front wheels on and pavement here. They will slide. They will cause all kinds of chaos and mayhem, and they will have a lot of fun. We do this a few times a year here at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's unlike anywhere else in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series.
Well, let's tell you some of the competitors real quick. The 24 of Colton Beeman, and Bo Hill in the 23. We've got Corey Wyatt in there, Latrell Hinton. Kenny Flippin is in the field. That's awesome. Bo Hill, Michael Esterly, Brandon Brown, and Blake Smith all competing in this skid plate race.
Cal Naughton Jr. car, because it basically is.
Oh, yeah, we do have I want some Wonder Bread.
Right.
Look at the is that sponsored by... Yeah, Bush Apple.
Bush Apple. So here we go. We're off and away in the skid plate race at Bowman Gray, and look at the jump here that the 34 gets. Going to the inside of it, 3 wide, and here we go.
The old Spice car stunk in turn 1. He spun.
Stuck there and really stuck at the infield as we got more carnage. Yeah, the Apple's a little bit right into the core here.
The 23, the Silver Surfer up front. 23 of Bo Hill is your leader. And don't look now. Oh, what the 34 just sent it in Mach 1. Went back. He backed
Mach
it in like
1,
he was
how
at
about Mach
Terre Haute.
5? Yeah.
He looked like he was in turn 3 in Terre Haute on a qualifying lap, but it didn't work out.
So the trick here is that you really can't use the brakes all that much, and so you have to manage the throttle and sort of bounce it off the fence like we just saw our leader do here. You're probably going to see a few more people do it, because if you try and come in too hot on corner entry, you'll just end up looping around the rear end. 5 laps up on the board, so this is lap 2 of 5, and that 23 machine.
Oh, look at Corey Wyatt.
But Corey Wyatt's trying to make a move for the race lead.
Corey Wyatt, a 3-time winner in skid plate racing and one of the great daredevil competitors here in the novelty ranks. Silver number 70 machine. Real max speed down the straightaway, and watch, there it comes, the break, slowing that car down in entry now, side by side, sparking in the south turn.
So the big thing here is you really have to sort of almost Larson it around the fence. I figure if you're going to do this optimally, I think when Larson ran the truck race at Eldora and the last 15 laps, he basically just used the fence as his brake. That's kind of what you have to do here in order to be successful.
I want to do this. I want to do this so bad.
You would be a menace, but in the best of ways. I think.
Yeah, I'd be the Bush Apple car. I like that the Bush Apple car has headlights. As you see, that's awesome. That reminds me of Islip Speedway when I was a kid. They actually had a lights out demo derby where they turned all the lights out and the last headlight went.
It's the only SUV, I believe, in the field, too. An old Saturn View with a big view to a torn up front end.
I thought the demo derby was later.
Yeah, the lights went out, though, sadly. The headlights are gone. So
both of them?
Yeah, I see both of them out.
Oh, wait, hold on. For the headlights. Yeah, I'm done. It's just chaos. This is Great Clips Crash Fest, by the way, not Great Clips Karaoke Night.
Great Clips Taps, I guess. As 23 comes here, I believe we're going to start our last lap here momentarily.
Yeah, I think Ricky Bobby is in 3rd position right now. Bo Hill is in 2nd, but Corey Wyatt is your us ensuing all around the famed quarter mile.
34 just got the black flag from the officials.
Oh, and he's done. Oh, his plate came off. That's why. Because if your plate comes off, you got these plates on the back wheel. And
but we have a winner here, though.
We
have a winner. It's the 70 machine who gets the job done, managed that well, and just sort of didn't push it harder than you need to. It's a case of slowing down to go fast, and the 70 machine is the one that ends up on top tonight. Corey Wyatt, I believe that makes it, 4 wins?
4 skid plate wins.
Races. Yep.
What is that car? What is that thing?
Oh,
is that a
Acura?
Acura?
Old Acura TL.
Look at that. See the skid plates on the back, folks? That's like a plate that's hooked up to the rim. Now, if that comes off, these rims would do terrible damage to the racetrack. So it's very important for the track officials to pay attention.
So TSX, that was based off the old TL chassis. I had one in the family. An uncle had a car like that. It was blue. They named it Spock.
Did you drive it like that?
I did not drive Spock, to my knowledge. But I know my cousin did. So cousin was very fond of Spock. Once upon a time. Corey Wyatt is taking I guess a sibling, as it were, of Spock, found a victory lane in our first Great Clips plenty of it to go around as Corey Wyatt salutes the fans here at Bowman Gray.
Let's take a quick break as Corey Wyatt celebrates. Corey Wyatt celebrates. Well, I think we have 2 minutes for a break here, right, guys? All right, let's do it. Corey Wyatt celebrating down at Victory Lane. We'll be back live on Flow Racing. Well, the skid plates are off the racetrack, and that means it's time for another race because we got a bunch of twin features, and right now we have the 20-lap feature number 2 for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. And let's give you your starting lineup for the second 20-lapper. On the pole, no hood, no problem for the Harkey litigation number 21, the Tiger, Tommy Neal. The number 51 of Austin Taylor starts to the outside. The Wade Interiors, number 51.
Rolling off of the inside of road 2, the number 38 DL Outfitters car out of Thomasville, North Carolina. It's Mitch Gales, and starting in 4th, the AML Wrestling number 28 out of Lexington, North Carolina, Billy Gregg.
Starting in 3rd, in the 03 Trailers of the East Coast black and silver machine, it's the rock star Sterling Plemons. To the outside, the Volkswagen 55, last year's champion, Zach Orr.
Starting in 7th, in the number 7, the Jimmy Smokehouse car out of Louisville, North Carolina, winner last week, Connor Branch. Starting in 8th, the number 23 East Coast Wings and Grill car out of Walburg, North Carolina, piloted by Ryan Robertson.
The number 31 Jerry Hunt Supercenter machine is next. That's Chase Robertson. And to the outside, drawing the pill, number 10 is the winner of the first race, Daytona Beach, Florida's Daniel Dye.
Starting in 11th, the 0 here out of Poptown, North Carolina, in the ever-ready mixed concrete car. It's Kirk Sheets. Starting in the 12th spot, it's the Furnace out of Oswego, New York, driving the Benchmark Solutions. Number 24, A.J. Burness.
Starting in lucky position 13 is the driver of the Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, number 37. It's Chris Massey. To the outside, it's Donkey Strong, the number 12 Serve Pro machine for Justin Taylor.
Starting in 15th, it's the Dog, the Bark Buddies car, the number 8 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Kyler Kepley. And starting in 16th, it's the number 77 of Jeff Snow.
The next row sees the Elkin, North Carolina driver in the 01, Marty Wilmoth. And to the outside, driving Justin Cummins' car, number 97. Late deal here will be Jim Schoaf. And then the next row will now be Dylan Ward in the
will move to the outside of row 10 and start where Tim Schoaf would. Also worth noting that 22 that Dylan Ward is starting in is the same car that won here in the Sportsman Division a few weeks ago. So, lots of fun. We had a really good race, I think, to open up the Sportsman setup as we go. And as we get going here, a little bit of a delayed start as these cars warm up the tires, try and get everything set up. And
so many Dylan Ward race cars. It's so hard to keep up with them. They're dominating this division. You know, you see it with the Robertsons, right? You know, you see it with the 77. You see it with the number 1, which is the number 77 of a few weeks ago. You see it with the 22 you mentioned, the Wesley Thompson-owned machine. Well, lights are out on the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Sportsman race number 2, set for the green flag here in front of a packed house in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. James Pike.
Jimmy Absher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle off to its place in the infield in the middle of the north turn. And Tiger Tommy Neal in the Harkey litigation red and white number 21 will lead us to green flag action at Bowman Gray. And he immediately bounces off of Austin Taylor's machine as Mitch Gales and Billy Gregg fight for the second spot. Sterling Plemons and Zach Orr trying to figure out who wants third as they go off the initial jump. Connor Branch and Chase Robertson, though, have moved immediately to the 4th and 5th cars on that inside line.
If you want to pick a driver at Bowman Gray Stadium to be a fan of because he gives it his all his might, it's the driver in that red 21 in the front of the field, and now nearly 3 wide in the back right there. Now they're side by side, still for the lead. Action all over the place at the Madhouse. Side by side. You said you can't race at Bowman Gray. Well, you're wrong. Here comes Mitch Gale spinning through the grass. That'll probably throw a caution. Now Mitch Gales gets that car going, the Auto Supply of Thomasville car. Battle is still on for Tommy Neal chops him off.
A lot of confusion there, but this field now trying to close back. Austin Taylor and then Billy Gregg and Sterling Plemons took advantage of all that chaos with Mitch Gales to jump up into the 3rd position, and he is now running down these race leaders, picking up about a car length every time they come across the stripe. So don't wait for too much longer. Give it a few more laps. Sterling Clemens is going to be in the hunt for this. And then Zach Orr and Chase Robertson, first and second in the points. The last two seasons are now nose to tail, racing each other for, I believe, 5th and 6th, as we got this great battle here for second between Greg and Taylor and Sterling Clemens.
Tommy Neal stretches out his lead 5 laps into this 20-lap affair with Greg in second. Yellow flag is out. The Zero Hero has a bunch of damage on the nose of that car, and peeling off that left front fender is the driver, Kirk Sheets.
Zero Hero will pull it into the work area behind the field house here at Bowman Gray. Modern Chevrolet pace car back on the track.
Pike, he loved, by the way. He was battling for that lead so valiantly, leading this race last week. And he was so excited today in the pits to tell us, man, that was really cool to hear you guys, you know, calling my name and that great race because I was sideways. And he's like, that was so exciting. So it's really cool when some of these drivers give you feedback. Some of them, you know, they don't give you the nicest feedback. A little bit, but most of them are so supportive, and we love every one of them. I don't care who it is. So speaking of such, one of the most passionate race car drivers leads the field as we're about to go back to green.
Quick little look here at some of the damage that we saw on Kirk Sheets' car and the spin that came out over at the exit of the south turn as we go back to green flag racing. And a good jump there for Tommy Neal. Billy Gregg staying right in tow. Sterling Clemens trying to work to the inside of because Kirk Sheets has gone around over at the exit of the north turn, and we get another call 811 before you dig yellow flag once again.
What's 0 times 2?
0.
There is the 0.
That's math, and I'm not good at math, but that's math.
At least know that.
And
so.
That's a principle of mathematics. Anything multiplied by 0 is always going to equate to 0.
That's the second caution flag for the Zero Hero. He's just shedding like a, you know, kind of like a snake. You know, shedding its skin all over the porch. You know, and now that left front wheel looks like it might be towed in just a little bit as well.
It could be a lot worse. Like that, if you're going to have that sort of issue, I'd almost rather it be sort of towed in just a hair and sort of kilter that way. If it's sort of set up to the left, then you can make that work for yourself. The question is going to be whether or not any of the dragging body work is enough to make the officials black flag this year. We saw that last year with Michael Adams, who couldn't get the rear bumper cover off and ultimately lost a race and really sort of fell out of the title fight in the sports division.
He was the point leader when that happened. It was like right at the end of the race. It was so dramatic.
It was. I think that incident happened with like a lap or two to go. So
it was you and Jeff Bunton were on the call for that night, and I remember watching, and it was like amazing.
Going to hear him a little bit later this year on these broadcasts, and looking forward to that. But for now, 7 laps on the board, modern Chevrolet pace car in. It's still Tiger Tommy Neal in control of this. Then Greg, Austin, Taylor, Sterling Clemens, Zach Orr, and the Robertsons chase ahead of Ryan. Off we go back to green flag racing at Bowman Gray. Good jump again for Tommy Neal. Maybe for fourth, Sterling Clemens checks up, and Zach Orr had none of it, spins the rock star around. Will that bring out another call? 811 before you dig caution flag. They're waiting, and Clemens will go, and we stay green flag racing.
Gosh, that's going to hurt Sterling in the points battle. Oh, the big spin from the front bumper of the number 55, and now some bumper tag at the front of this field. We've heard this before. Bowman Gray fans, you know it when you say Neal, when you say Greg. Two incredibly passionate, incredibly hard-charging race car drivers around the famed quarter mile, and they're doing the two bumper dance right now around this racetrack.
Halfway, and these are two drivers that have plenty of history. They are veterans of the stadium, and they do not like each other, so watch this battle to get incredibly physical. Meanwhile, Zach Orr and Chase Robertson just cleared Austin Taylor for the third spot, but look at the way that Billy Gregg just put the rear bumper to Tommy Neal's machine.
Well, Justin Mincy has got a big smile on his face because he sees these two cars come together, and he knows there's a little bit of a history between these two drivers here at the Madhouse. Oh, Marty Wilmoth gets in the way, the lap car, and Tommy Neal says, get out of my way.
I couldn't tell Tommy Neal Him as a sort of shield here, and look at how tight this is. Caution on the racetrack. They're wiggling, trying to not run over each other because Tommy Neal and Billy Gray were getting into each other. Zach Orr and Chase Robertson were getting into each other. Austin Taylor had bounced off of them. I think everybody in the top 5 has touched pretty much everybody else in the top 5 with Carr at some point. They have traded fender paint in some way, shape, or form.
A lot of touching going on tonight at the Madhouse. You know why? It's great clips. Crash Fest.
Crash Fest?
Yeah. It's not Touch Fest. It's Crash Fest.
Fair. Valid point.
Yeah. It's Spin Fest for the Zero Hero and Marty Wilmoth. If you got a zero on your car in the Sportsman division right now, it's not good for you.
Bad luck already. Doesn't sound like fun to me. Who knows? We'll find out. So Matthew Dillner trying to do his base coach impression with some baseball signs here.
Chuck Bush is trying to do with me, and it's so funny because that mustache just gets in the way, and I can't even.
As we get set to rock and roll and get ready for more action at Bowman Gray Stadium, it's Tommy Neal and Billy Gregg. So just to sort of set up everything here, Billy Gregg, Tommy Neal don't like each other. But easiest way to put it, we've seen them trade blows with one another time in and time out, year after year after year. So this, and we saw it getting pretty intense before we got this yellow flag. And then I think we know the history between Chase Robertson and Zach Orr. Those two have gotten into each other, and those two have just absolutely gone to fisticuffs at points. Although there's always been a sort of lid on it. You know, they've raced hard, but it's been respectful. So 2 individual battles here, and then Austin Taylor's gotten into just about all of them, and Ryan Robertson is teammates with Chase Robertson, so you could spin the spider web a million different ways. We'll find out how Tommy Neal controls it. We go back to green flag racing. He gets a good job. Look at Zach Orr, though, with a shot maybe to try and go underneath Billy Gregg. We'll try and use at the exit of the south turn. Maybe he has a shot going into the north turn. Yes, he does. Zach Orr tried to throw it in. Greg.
When you got cars side by side, sideways, when you have some of the biggest stars at Bowman Gray, you look around the famed quarter mile and the fans are urging them on. They're giving them the bird salute. They're cheering. They're jeering. Fans are on their feet with 5 laps to go.
Tommy Neal has the track position, but there are 2 very fast cars behind him, and he might be able to hold off one. I don't know if he'll be able to hold off 2. Working around the lap traffic of Marty Wilmoth. Tommy Neal does not catch them in a good spot. Tries to play chicken with both. Just about got himself caught out there. This could get really entertaining in the final handful of laps.
Zach Orr has caught Tommy Neal. The Tiger has some company snarling off his back bumper, but here comes Chase Robertson. A little bit of a stack up, a little accordion action there.
I wonder if Robertson might try and use Orr as a cue ball to knock Orr into Tommy Neal and move them both up the racetrack. That is absolutely a possibility in play. It's just a question of whether or not Robertson does that, or if Orr and Neal make that easier for him and they get into it, and maybe that opens the door for Robertson to take the lead.
We've seen that movie before.
Plenty of times. Here we go. Another look there from Zach Orr. Tried to do it again. Tommy Neal trying to hang on. Kirk Sheets in the infield. We stay green and white flag out, and Tommy Neal still in control of this.
Neal has to hold him off for one more time. He gets sideways in the south turn. Saves that number 21 with the Wood Brothers look on him one more time around Marty Wilmoth. He gets into him. Wilmoth spins or wins destruction at Crash Fest. Neal doesn't even make it across the finish line. He's in a heat, and the crowd has erupted.
Insane finish at Bowman Gray Stadium. Tommy Neal couldn't figure out how to navigate the lap traffic of Marty Wilmoth and went from first to last car on the lead lap in the final half of a straightaway as Tommy Neal is going to drive over to Marty Wilmoth. He's mad at Wilmoth of all people.
Oh! He's mad at the lap car.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this as the staff immediately goes over to try and calm.
Lap machine got in the way of the Tiger, and the Tiger is out of his cage. Wilmoth right now through the right side. Fans are cheering. He hits his machine.
The wildest thing here is Zach Orr is doing a victory lap with the flag here, and I'm not sure how many people are actually watching Zach Orr because all eyes are glued on the situation between Marty Wilmoth and Tommy Neal right here in the graph.
Off. Well, his fire suit. Neal, look at him. He's ticked. And there goes the winner going by, Zach Orr. But this is what everybody's eyes are on right now. Win number 55 was within his grasp. And he only had a mere 30 yards to go. And it disappeared.
And instead, Zach Orr just tied David Adams for 13th on the Sportsman Division all-time wins list with 23. Let's go down to Chris Carter, who is in victory lane with Zach Orr.
Let him hear you, Zach Orr! He wants you to get loud! Look at him up there, Mr. Zach Orr! Y'all look at me and Zach holding hands. I had to lead him off. Man, reason number 7,352 reasons that these people come to the Madhouse. Tell us about it, Zach Orr.
Oh, that was a crash fest, I guess you'd say, for tonight. But I seen that 0-1 going low. I seen Tommy's going to shoot under him. I seen it happen earlier. I said, you know what? I'm going to put the pedal to the metal, go to the outside. We're going to clear it or not. We got to come home with a win. I can't thank everybody enough for what they've done this week. It's been a tough week for all of us.
What goes basically said it, all of a sudden there's an opening, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, you got to point to things.
Zach Orr, let him hear you!
So let's take a look one more time at what happened here on the last lap. Tommy Neal was in front, hanging on. You saw it get physical down in the south turn, and Zach Orr actually checked up to make sure that he didn't run over Tommy Neal. And then watch how this unfolds. You see Marty Wilmoth just out of the shot, and as they come through the north turn here, Tommy Neal checks up, can't figure out which way to go to get around Wilmoth, gets trapped behind, gets stuck behind him, has nowhere to go. Zach Orr has that clear space to the outside, and as he said, he just floored into the outside, and he was either going to hit it or drive free, and he drove 3, picks up the win in the Sportsman Division of Bowman Gray.
Wilmoth was in the middle of the track. I mean, which way is he supposed to go? I mean, you can't go to the bottom of him. You can't go to the outside of him. He's in the middle of the track, and that's the third time. You know, that's why he's mad.
Right.
Let's just be fair. You know, people will say, oh, there goes Tommy Neal again, throwing a fit, pointing at people, hitting cars. I'm sorry, but, like, you know, that's the third time a lap vehicle impeded his process of his lead. I don't blame him.
And especially at that point in the racetrack, too, because it narrows up. So
you got to get out of the way more.
If there's a spot where you have to make it clear as a lap car, it's right there on the racetrack. And so to your point, I can see where Tommy Neal is coming from on that one for sure.
And that's no disrespect to Marty. You know, he's been here for years. But, you know, you got to pick a lane as a lap car at that point. You know, you've seen it before with Krav Smith in the modified division. There's times where that 99 hasn't had the speed, and he does a great job. We saw it tonight, getting out of the way of the leaders and still running his race.
We'll take a very quick break here. We got some modifieds already on the front stretch. They'll be next here as we have more action from the Madhouse coming at your television screens and screens wherever elsewhere on Flow Racing.
we are back at Bowman Gray Stadium live on Flow Racing. I'm Matthew Dillner, joined by James Pike. Let's give you the quick starting lineup for Modified Twin 25, race number 2. Starting on the pole, the great veteran in the Wahlberg Pizza and Grill, number 75. Love their catfish, Lee Jeffries. And on the outside, the Q104.1 machine, the Suzuki car, it's Brandon Ward.
Starting in 30, the number 6 machine out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. It's the S&P Limited car piloted by Slate Myers. Starting in 4th, number 4 out of Walnut Cove, the Working Man, the Advantage Machinery Services driver, Jason Myers.
Starting 5th tonight, the number 10 from Tobaccoville. It is the QRC HVAC and refrigeration machine for Mike Speeney. And to the outside, powered by Pulliams, is the number 83.
In a Mount Airy, North Carolina, driving for Perkins and Associates. It's the Ace, the number 1 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, Citrus Safe Cleaners machine piloted by Burt Myers.
Oh, starting 9, oh so fine in the Nor Group, number 41 for Farmer Ted Bobby Meismer. To the outside, White Lightning, the number 79 of Ryan Flores.
Starting in 11th out of Walkertown, North Carolina, driving the 07 car for Logan Heating and Cooling, it's the real deal, Riley Neal. And starting in 12th, the number 14 car out of Lexington, North Carolina, racing for Quality Embroidery, it's Trey Hutchins.
Starting in lucky position, number 13 is the driver of the blue, number 44. That is Daniel Beeson. To the outside, the number 9 Tobacco Ridge machine, it's Kyle Southern.
Starting in 15th, it's the 00, the Flying Taco out of Monroe, North Carolina for Brindle Site Services, Danny Prost. Starting in 16th, the number 5 out of Poptown, North Carolina, racing for Carolina Triad Choice Realty, it's Randy Butner.
Starting 17th tonight, the Big B Coffee, number 64, the rookie, Ethan Truel, second-generation driver. And to the outside, Gerald Robinson Jr. in the number 39.
Starting on the inside of row 10, it's the number 99 Peterbilt machine out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, William Crabsmith. And starting in 20th, it's the number 17 car piloted by Lonnie Oakley.
Starting in 21st in the Brown Trout Septic, number 51, it's the Snowman, Junior Snow. To the outside, the Muddy Creek Motorsports 35, it's Brandon Butner.
Starting in 23rd, driving the number 77 machine out of Jonesville, North Carolina, the Security Partners 51 cent special piloted by the lovely Susan Harwell. Last car on the grid out of Creston, Iowa, the Pulliams Hot Dogs machine, the number 88, driven by Johnny Murdoch.
All right, we had a redraw after Burt Myers' 100th career stadium victory, his 99th modified victory, and the redraw was 8th. So Burt Myers will line up 8th. He's got a long way to go and a short time to get there. 25 laps for the 600 horsepower ground pounders, the NASCAR Modifieds.
But massive history if he can do it, to go to 100 wins in the Modifieds all time and tie Tim Brown for the most wins in a single career at Bowman Gray with 101. If Burt Myers can find his way to Carolina with victory lane.
We got pressure because we got Tim Brown's father-in-law up here in the booth with us, and he's Pulliams Hot Dogs is our go-to spot before you go to Bowman Gray Stadium. The best Southern hot dog in the game. Bottom line. Two white cars dance down into the south turn, and the modified race is on.
This is also a really big opportunity for Brandon Ward, who starts on the outside of the front row off the redraw, but can't make a move on Lee Jeffries to start. Just not the grip up there on that high line in the north turn. They wiggle, trouble. The Big B Coffee machine of Ethan Truel is stuck in the grass in the infield. No caution yet. Still wheel to wheel for the race lead.
Unbelievable battle up front. Who says you can't race side by side in a modified at Bowman Gray Stadium? That's hogwash. Lee Jeffries to the lead.
Trouble in the north turn, and it will bring out the first call. 811 before you take caution. Trey Hutchins got caught up in a stack up. Kyle Southern stopped over there too. Southern will be able to put his car in reverse and get out of the way, and Trey Hutchins is left as the one car stopped pretty much dead center of the north turn.
Kyle Southern fresh off a great finish lap. And that car has really been something else this season. Of course, he lost his house in a fire. Brand new chassis on board that racing program, and second top 5 of the season. So, his last two finishes, in fact, are third and fourth. So, not the second twin 25 that he wished upon, and that's definitely going to hurt him.
Not the start. That car doesn't necessarily look hurt, though. I saw toe damage, though, on the right front of Trey Hutchins' machine. Looked a little bit off. So Hutchins has brought his number 14, that blue and sort of like almost an iron blue and yellow car over to the work area, and that will leave us with 23 cars on the racetrack. We'll get back to a restart on lap 2 of 25. Lee Jeffrey scored as your race leader, then Brandon Ward, then Slate Myers, then Mike Speeney, then Chris Fleming, the showstopper. That's your top 5 that we'll have when we get back to racing. And again, 25 laps here, so no double file restarts, just single file, mash the gas, nail your timing, and go, go, go around this main quarter. We'll pan out.
Single file restarts here. We got 2 laps on the board. They're under the caution flag.
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, perhaps.
There is the number 41, the Kevin Hughes-owned Hughes Motorsports machine, Z-Max on board, Nor Group. We call him Farmer Ted. Bobby Meismer has won races here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and great to see that car back. Ryan Preece, the NASCAR Cup Series star, drove the car at Clash, didn't fare too well. But watching that car today, it's got some really cool shock towers on the front of that car. I love them. They're really high compared to some of the other cars. And there he is getting into the backside of Tim Brown. Maybe not too happy is Farmer Ted, and car owner watching from Alaska right now, hunting a, I think, bear. Hunting or hugging, I'm not sure.
Braver human being than I.
Knowing Kevin, he's hugging the bear. He told me about those bears, though. They're scary.
They're massive.
They are. All right, two laps on the scoreboard here at the famed quarter mile, and Lee Jeffries in that traditional white and blue paint scheme leads them off the turn, and the green flag is back out here at Bowman Gray Stadium with Brandon Ward in tow.
The first 3 get it pretty good. Really, the first top 5 or 6. It's Speeney going to Slate Myers. There's the battle to kick things off here on this next green flag run. Speeney with a look to the inside. Didn't have the run under it, but there's damage to the rear bumper of Slate Myers' machine. He'll go up the racetrack a bit. Speeney tried to get down to the bottom. We'll send the bumper to Slate Myers once again into the north turn. Slate will go up the racetrack. Does that give Speeney a gap to get to the bottom? Yes, it does.
Remember, those two got together just 2 weeks ago, and there is Myers going around. He cut down to try to get to the back bumper of Speeney, and when he did so, he came across the right front tire of the number 16, Chris Fleming.
I'd say it's a pretty classic case of not clear that we just saw right there. Tried to get there. I had no idea, I think, that Fleming had already gone to occupy the space, and when he tried to get back in line, just gets turned around and brings out our second call, 811, before you take caution of the second 25-lapper.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Now, you could tell Slate was not happy because he was getting the business from the front bumper. Spun off the front bumper of Mike Speeney. So a little bit of, hey, you never know. A little bit of new rivalries maybe forming here at Bowman Gray Stadium. We've got room for plenty of them. The Madhouse has got enough room.
That is a story. I think another big story, though, look at the right front of Chris Fleming's machine. That is a very, very hurt race car. I was not certain how bad the damage would be when he made contact with Slate Myers, but you get a good look there at the right front, towed in, big damage. I wonder whether or not Chris Fleming might need to tow back to the work area here.
Oh, yeah. I think, it's safe to say tire rods probably bent or snapped on the right front of that machine, and that probably will be it for Chris Fleming tonight. And, I'll be seeing him tomorrow on his Facebook show, live at 8:55. He's got a great little Facebook deal that he does, and a lot of the people in the racing community wake up groggy-eyed and tune in.
And experience watching modified racing. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're sort of in the peripheral of All-Star Weekend at North Wilkesboro, and you're tuning into races nearby. these modifieds are the only open-wheel cars that run in NASCAR, and this is a problem that you don't necessarily run into as much with any of the closed-fender vehicles that you see, whether or not it's Cup or Xfinity or ARCA or trucks, a bit unique to this, and so they are a little bit more sensitive to contact with the wheels.
Well, there is the number 9 of Kyle Southern, who's out of his car. It looks like he's not going to be able to continue. Oh, that's a shame. He's been really running good this year. A brand new race car for that team that they bought off of Drew Moffitt right before the start of the season. Bob Dillner talked about it a few weeks ago, how they weren't going to race this year, and then they decided late. It was actually Kyle's wife, that said, "Hey, I want you to race." So they went and bought a car, and they're here competing weekly again, and it's a great story of perseverance.
A great story of perseverance that comes to an early end in this second 25-lapper. I saw sparks coming out from underneath Kyle Southern's car, entering the south turn right before the yellow. So I imagine that's connected to why this car is going off on the back of the tow truck. I'm not sure what caused the sparks in particular, but issues there for Kyle Southern. And there you see the damage to the right front of for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds as well. Also, as we continue to work on a yellow, Trey Hutchins has just brought his car back out to the racetrack.
Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing. We'll be back. 5 laps on the board, 20 to go for the Modifieds. Just in the nick of time. 5 laps on the board. Lee Jeffries leads Brandon Ward, Mike Spini, and Bobby Meismer to the green. Burt Myers, trouble on the start for the driver of the number 1. He's slow to the bottom. His bid for 101 is done.
Waiting to see if he comes to his stop. Came to a crawl enough. Did not come to a complete stop, but crawled enough that we get another call 811 before you did caution flag on lap 6 of 25.
That card looks like it's not under power. Is that number 1? Just when you thought the gremlins were done, just when you thought the new paint scheme brought the mojo back, he's getting pushed off.
Word from the team here at Flow Racing that there may be an electrical issue on Burt Myers' machine that has put him in the work area for the moment. But again, we go back to the drama last week with Tim Brown. They'll have a chance to work on it. If he can get back out before we go back to green flag racing, he won't lose a lap. The question is just how terminal with regards to this twin 25-lapper is the issue on our machine.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Eyes are on. About nearing his pit area. The driver of the CitraSafe 1 can return to the racetrack as his crew diagnoses those issues.
1 to go on the modern Chevrolet pace car, so not a lot of time if Burt wants to try and sew up some history tonight. Otherwise, plenty of drivers ready, able, and willing to put their name in Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. Lee Jeffries looking for his first win in quite some time. Brandon Ward trying to continue a great start to the season, highlighted by the win in the season opening Hayes Jewelers 200. Mike Spini is there at the pointy end of this field, points leader by 8 over Ward coming into tonight. And then how about the 41 of Bobby Meismer with the opportunity to do something special if the cars fall his way. Here we go. Green flag is back out. No Burt Myers on the racetrack. Good jump for really the top 4, top 5, top 6. 1 car spinning in the back. Call 811 before you did caution out before we complete the next lap.
Gerald Robinson Jr. goes for a spin cycle in the lettuce.
Quick restart here to come. They'll try it once again. Good jump there. Oh, no, they didn't. They slow it down, so they called off the restart there right in real time. The back of the field had trouble catching up to the front, so that's why race officials.
That's the right call.
Really, really, really quick call, but a good one there just to get everybody caught back up once again. So we'll have the opportunity to sort everyone out. Looks like everybody's going to be lined up this time, Matthew Donor. We'll get back to it on lap 7.
Well, the green flag is in hand, but I believe we are going to stay yellow one more time. Randy on the flag stand's not happy.
No. Although I think the anger is more at the back of the field because it's the back of the field that's having trouble getting in the right order.
Yeah, Randy Buntner seems to be contesting a position back there with Ethan Truel. But we are going to green here at the front of the field. 7 laps on the Colby's Roofing and Gutters restart lineup. Jeffries, first to the loud pedal, single file, the train.
So off we go. We finally get a restart here, and so all eyes on Brandon Ward and whether or not he makes quick work of Lee Jeffries or not. Little bit of contact in the north turn. Brandon Ward looking for another win in what's been a hot start to 2025, and Mike Speeney looking for the opportunity to go to victory lane. A little bit of trouble further back for Danny Probst, but all eyes here on the top 3.
Remember, Speeney with a fourth, and a second to start this season, but you look right now, you think just that with the single file restarts that Lee Jeffries is going to have a cakewalk. He doesn't right now. He was sideways there. The 104 car is all over the back bumper, and everybody is a little bumper tag here with the top 3.
Burt Myers back out on the racetrack. Just came out about a half lap ago, so Myers back running around the quarter mile. Lee Jeffries almost forcing Brandon Ward back into a battle with Mike Speeney. That's actually allowed Jeffries to get away a little bit, and the folks shifted to that battle from the lead to the battle for second between Ward and Speeney, who enter this evening second and first in the points respectively.
We talk about that top 3 battle right now. In 4th is Bobby Meismer Jr. In 5th, Tim Brown. 6th, Neal. Junior Snow in 8th. The 44 in 9th.
Halfway coming, Tim Brown starting to close in on Bobby Meismer. That's about to be a really good battle for the 4th position as Lee Jeffries has started to gap everybody here. That car starting to come to life under a long green flag run.
Right now, the big bumper shot is from the number 10 of Speeney to the back I-beam of Brandon Ward's car. Ward is starting to overdrive the corner a little bit. You saw it there on the north, and then the south turn. Speeney again delivers the bumper. Now he wheels that modified to the inside and down the front straightaway. Here comes Speeney for the 2 spot.
Mike Speeney wants second, but he wants a shot to go get his car. And Carolina Wood Floors victory lane for the first time in 2025. Rotating with the rear end of that car all over the place, trying to steer it with the throttle as he closes in on Lee Jeffries. To what degree does Mike Speeney reel in Jeffries here with lap traffic relatively close ahead to our race leader? The gap at the line, maybe about 3 or 4 car lengths, 17
will approach the lapped vehicle of Crab Smith here on this next lap. 18 laps on the board and the yellow flag out. Interesting. The plot thickens as the pack will get tightened.
If you're Mike Speeney, you love it. No, nail this restart. You've got a shot to make this pass in the south turn with what will be probably ballpark 5 laps to go here at Bowman Gray. And to get a win, you know, it's not the 200, it's not a 100 lapper, but I think Speeney and any one of these drivers in the field here today would tell you any win at Bowman Gray in particular is special, as looks like Danny Probst is stopped on the back straightaway. I saw a tire rub on the right rear of that car a little bit further back in the field, so race officials checking that out to make sure that that wasn't going to become a bigger issue than it was. Looks like it's sorted, so I imagine we probably will not be much longer under this modern Chevrolet pace car. But to the point, it doesn't matter whether or not it's a 125 or whether or not it's a 200 lapper. It is a very difficult thing to win, especially in the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds at Bowman Gray Stadium. You've got a bunch of drivers at the front of this field who have experience doing it. A lot of drivers, though, who have not done it in 2025. Amongst the top 5 drivers, Brandon Ward's the only one that's gone to victory lane in this calendar year. And when they get back to the stripe, once Jimmy Absher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle into its place in the middle of the north turn, we are going to be left with just over 5 laps to go to figure out the second driver to end up in victory lane, as the restart is delayed by a lap, and the pace car will come back out onto the track.
Well, you know what I love? I love being at a short track, right? That's a no-brainer. I love being at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Short track Saturday night.
Short track Saturday night. I love modified racing. But I can't tell you how many times I've looked down at this packed crowd here at Bowman Gray Stadium and seen so many people on their feet. You know, I see so many kids in the grandstands here, and you know, when the restart's about to happen, you just see people raised to their feet. This is a crowd that's engaged, you know, in the racing. They're engaged in the characters. They're engaged in the history, and they pay attention.
And they communicate. That's the other thing. if you are somebody's friend or foe, these fans are not quiet about it. They will let you know. They will either yell or scream or cheer or make some sort of hand gesture, either good or bad.
I'm looking at a group of kids down below us, right? And
right.
You know, the kid's got a soccer jersey on, it looks like, down there. And he's got his hands on his head, and his friends are cheering, and they're kind of like going back and forth with which driver they like. And, you know, you just got to love that. It reminds me of when I was a kid, sitting in the grandstands with my brother, and, you know, he might be cheering for Greg Sachs. I might be cheering for Charlie Drzambek. And, you know, that's how you develop heroes as a child that carry on through your life and you know, just fuel that passion for auto racing. Well, speaking of that, got a few laps to go here. 18 laps on the board of this twin 25 feature 2. Lee Jeffries leads them to green.
Jeffries straightened out his restart zone as much as he could, went high to low, gapped Mike Speedy beautifully in the process, and is going to leave Speedy to have to fight off Brandon Ward. That was a brilliant, brilliant restart from Lee Jeffries. Have to give him credit, because that created about 2 to 3 car lengths of space just off of racecraft. That's as good a restart as I've seen in a long, long time here.
That's a masterful job by a veteran race car driver right there. And it kind of looked a little unorthodox, but it really, really worked. But right now, will he have enough time to hold off the charge of Mike Speedy?
He bought himself as much time as he could, but there's no outdoing the fact that Speedy has the faster car at the moment. The gap that Jeffries built up has come down to just a car length, if that, and it will close even further. And we may have a battle on our hands.
Jeffries has had a tough start to the season. He could use the win. 2 drivers hungry for different reasons, leading the race here at Bowman Gray Stadium. 22 laps on the board, coming to 23.
Tons of experience amongst these front 2. There is the bumper for the first shot from Mike Speedy to lead Jeffries. Jeffries is able to hang on. I imagine we may see another shot either in the north or the south turn. In the south turn, nothing yet. So watch as they go into the north turn here. How much ground does Mike Speedy try and gather up? He tries to get there in the center of the corner. Can't quite get there. Might set up something here on the white flag lap.
Lee Jeffries, your leader. One more trip around the famed quarter mile. Bumper tag again. Speedy's been cashing checks with his front bumper. Can he do it again? The big shot. The north turn nudge. Lee Jeffries hangs on, first back to the throttle, and wins.
Veteran racecraft gets the job done at the end of the day. And to Mike Speedy and Brandon Ward's great credit, I think they all checked up a little bit to not run each other over, but Lee Jeffries playing defense throughout so much of this race. And now has a very well-earned trip to Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. You want to learn how to play defense at the Madhouse? Watch that tape. Lee Jeffries did it as well as I think we've seen anybody do it here in a long, long time.
Win number 29, and this is one that he is going to remember forever. One that he had to use a skill set developed from years of watching his father and years of modified racing here at the Madhouse.
And he just tied. How about this? Here are names you want to be in the same conversation with. Glenn Wood and Satch Worley for 14th place on the all-time wins list here at Bowman Gray. How about that? That's Satch Worley and Glenn Wood. That's exceptional company.
Look at this
Here's a look at
replay.
this last lap of this battle here. The checkup in 1 and 2, they're all sideways.
What a
they
save.
all let themselves gather back up, and credit to the showmanship almost for all three of these drivers simultaneously allowing each other to have the shot. Hangs on and gets the win.
Lee Jeffries, ladies and gentlemen. Lee, let's come around here. So our folks at Flow Racing all around the country can see you right up there. Lee, on that last restart, you took off. But then number 20, boy, he was beaten in a bang. What a race. You held him off. Got to feel good.
Yeah. I knew when the 10 car got there, I mean, he ran me good, as clean as he could. I got a jump right there, and then I played it safe. He had me turn sideways, and he let me straighten it up, so I commend him for that. I'd like to thank all these fans for coming out. I'd like to thank Phoenix Packaging, Skinner Warehousing, Brad's Golf Cars, Colors Edge, Market USA, Wahlberg.
Win number 29 for Lee Jeffries in modified competition at Bowman Gray. We've got more action. The street stock cars are up next. You're watching coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from historic Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on Flow Racing. Welcome back to coverage of NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series racing live from Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. As Lee Jeffries has come away victorious in our second race for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. And we've had a really, really strong slate of races here, Matthew Dillner. Really two great races between the sportsman race here with that crazy finish where Zach Orr comes from third to first in the last lap, and then a great battle between Lee Jeffries, Mike Speeney, and Brandon Ward, which Jeffries comes out on top of here in the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Jeffries needed that, buddy.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while since he's visited Victory Lane, and the start of the season has just been really tough for him. You know, he's gone back and forth between testing two different cars, the F&O car, the Troyer, I believe, is the other car, but he just hasn't had it this year. And it's been tough to see him in the pit area not be as happy as he normally is. He's one of the most likable guys in our pit area. And I'm sure this is going to change things. And I love that team. I think of his dad. First times I ever came here, what a gentleman. And then he gets to carry on this great legacy. And then Susan Harwell, his teammate, getting to carry on her father's legacy, Alfred Hill, and those families connected and friends. And that's what Bowman Gray is all about.
That family, also, I can tell you, I haven't been down to the garage. They make
the pit
some,
area, you mean?
Okay, fair. But they make some of the best ham biscuits you're going to find on planet Earth.
Oh, man, I want a ham biscuit now.
They're almost.
I've never had that. You know, I've had the back in the day, the peach ice cream on the tailgate of Puddin' Swisher's thing. You know, tailgate. You know, tailgate of his tailgate of his truck. That is
right.
Yeah, word salad. But yeah, ooh. I had a country ham biscuit the other day. I don't eat those much. It's too salty. Not good for you, but darn, they're good.
Yeah. You speak unfortunate truths here that I don't want to accept, but you're right.
I mean, who would like to accept? You know, who wants to accept that a country ham biscuit isn't good for you? Hey, you know what we should do instead of talking about
it's going to make me hungry. Let's
talk about the starting lineup of this.
And drivers that are hungry for victory in the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series, because they're the only division that's yet to take to the track this evening.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Well, let's give you the starting lineup on the pole in the Motorsports on Main, number 10. From Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it's Kendall Craig Heartless on the outside. From Lexington, the Studio 17 machine for Andy Southern.
Starting in third, it's the number 88 out of Low Gap, North Carolina, racing for Cree Transmission. It's Brian Shoup. And starting in the fourth spot, winner of the 50-lapper a few weeks ago out of Clemens, North Carolina, driving the number 24 Mountain Pride Chicken car, it's Austin Jones.
The number 23 from Kernersville is next in the Joey B. Miller Realty machine. It's Jordan Atkins to the outside. It's Kyler Staley in the number 8 Bully's Bar and Grill machine. His dad, Zach Staley, by the way, not here. Bike Week, Myrtle Beach.
Starting in seventh, the number 72 out of Lexington, North Carolina, representing Turn & Burn Hobby and Raceway, it's Brian Robertson. And starting in eighth, it's the 05 machine out of Salone, North Carolina, racing for Lone Auto Sales, Hayden Hall.
Starting ninth, the U.S. Unlimited Services, number 16, Brad Lewis to the outside. The Fortress Roofing, number 9, for Brandon Brown.
Starting in the train from North Carolina, racing for Previtt & Son Plumbing, Kevin Gilbert. Starting in 12th, the number 99 machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Sykes Roofing. It's the Country Pimp, Brian Sykes Jr.
Starting in position, lucky 13 from Wahlberg, North Carolina, driving the Mule Skinner Trucking 00. It's the Moose, Donnie Martin. And to the outside, the driver from Brown Summit, North Carolina, the number 82, it's Justin Halvey Alverson.
Starting in 15th out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, former winner in this division here at Bowman Gray, the number 4, driven by Emily Lewis. And starting in 16th out of Clemens, North Carolina, it's the number 30 machine, driven by Zach Kogar for Kogar Plumbing.
And the final row, the big man from Thomasville, North Carolina, the Kennedy's Plumbing, number 33, DJ Dean. And last year's and the two-time defending track champion starts scratch on the field, the High Point Auto Body Hot Rod Barn hero. It's Christian Joyce. Long way to go. Short time to get there.
But he's
20 laps for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stocks. Heartless leads into the green. Green flag is out.
Heartless did not get a good jump. Andy Southern, on the other hand, did. So Southern to the lead before they exit the south turn. Here comes Austin Jones looking to the inside. Lots of cars still. Door, bumper, nowhere close to clear. Let's be fair about it. They're all over each other from about fifth on back.
There is a gaggle from like fifth on back of cars that are side by side and fishtailing and sideways and squirrely all over the place right now. Jordan Atkins trying to hold off the charge of the number 8 car of
Truly, no one really making a difference here as they may end up getting into each other in the corner. Brian Sykes had a moment. Now a little bit of a battle here up in front. Oh, that could be big trouble in the back straightaway, and somehow they almost saved it, and then they didn't. One car over in the fence.
Hayden Hall
in the 0-5. The unlucky party out of Salome, North Carolina, and our first call, 811, before you did caution flag out. And that probably was sort of on the way. It was brewing for a few laps before it finally spilled over at the entry to the north turn.
I'm just glad split second that Atkins was going to get turned the wrong way there, and whew, that was hairy. And then they went 3 wide, so some hairy racing action. And further in the back of the pack, the black and yellow number 99 had a really close moment as well. That is the driver that he told us to call. There he is. Told us to call himself the country pimp, and that is the Sykes Metal Roofing Priority 1. Has done such a great job this year, number 99, winning, of course, but, just the finishes that he has had this year, that 99 is, put on a show here in the street stock division. And, his father's a really good racer here, but this kid, everybody says he's got the talent, and he's really showing it with a first, and a third place finish.
Very, very strong start to the season for Brian Sykes Jr. That incident really was just effectively the accordion effect of ballpark 10 cars that went one way and then another and then another and another. And poor Hayden Hall was truly wrong place, wrong time. Got a little bump and right at the sort of funneling point of this racetrack too. Again, for those who have not been here to the Madhouse, with the way the actual stadium bowl is built, the racetrack actually over the racing surface and sort of into it a little bit. So they funnel on the entry to 3, beginning of the north turn, and the exit of turn 4. And it was right about at that point where Hayden Hall made contact. If you look at sort of that little clip there, that little sort of indentation in the wall, that's about the width of a human being that you lose on corner entry. You stick a person there, and that's about the gap that you lose just at that spot. And it widens out again once you clear it, but at that place, it funnels. It's entirely unique to Bowman Gray. It's basically Jeff Button's can opener, as we like to call it in the past, just beefed up and, turned into full metal this time, right?
It's a smooth can opener.
Right.
I just got to ask you a question, though, Pike. You said that you lose about a width of a person. Maybe you. I mean, I swear that it'd be down to the dang apron if it was me.
I feel terrible now. I am defeated. There is no coming back from that.
Oh man, we have guys. If you okay, here's the deal. This is a peek behind the curtain here at Flow Racing in the NASCAR broadcast at Bowman Gray Stadium. If you ever heard us under caution or heard us before the mightily. And we have fun, because if you can't have fun at the racetrack, whether you're sitting in the grandstands right now, right, watching the race, laughing with your family and your friends, or if you're watching it on Flow, or you're in the announcer booth, what are you doing?
We are truly a little bit adventures of Big and Rob here. That is actually the vibes.
Big and Rob.
Yep, Big and Rob indeed. Who's going to be Big and Laura on the board? Modern Chevrolet pace car off into its place in the north turn, and we have Andy Southern, who had a great year last year, leading us back to green, got the lead away from Kendall Craig Hartless off that initial start, and a great jump for Southern once again. Clear of Hartless by a card length. Alton Jones to third. How about the 23 Machina? Jordan Atkins looking to the inside there to try and get the 4th spot away.
Jordan Atkins right now has her hands full, and she's to the bottom of Shoop. Gets into him. Shoop gets around. Kylie saving it through the grass. Halvey goes sliding through the grass at all. Mass chaos here at Bowman Gray.
Brian Shoop does a shoop-de-loop to get that car turned right back around.
Shoop-de-loop, shoop-de-loop.
It works. It works.
Shoop-de-loop,
I was prepared on that one. Knew where that was going.
I like that.
Halvey's stuck in the corner and has not been able to move his car just yet. Everybody else, Kyler Staley was the other vehicle involved in that incident and has been able to roll up alongside the field. I don't particularly see any damage just yet. We'll see if that changes once we get a look at Kyler Staley's car as they come back across the front stretch.
Chuck Bush has said, rest in peace, left eye.
Valid point indeed.
Yeah. Pour one out. I'm going to pour out my S&P lemonade for left eye. S&P lemonade's good.
Yeah.
Okay, we've had a different booth this year. Okay, I should be losing weight. There has been an incredible reduction of little donuts in the booth, percentage-wise. Let's just be real. We've had it like once this year. But S&P, it's up there in the back stretch, on the east side of the racetrack, and S&P has their little stand there, and they support racing too, and they're giving us lemonade up here, keeping me hydrated so you can hear me.
What flavor is that? Strawberry or watermelon?
I don't know. It's a flavor, and it's red, and it's delicious. It's like their cheerwine flavor.
So like a cherry.
Slate Myers has his own flavor. It's like slate blue lemonade. He's probably
delicious.
drinking it right now because he's probably not happy with his run. Here we go. 5 laps on the board for the 20-lap street stock feature event. Andy Southern leads him slowly around the north turn. Stacking up everywhere. Yellow flag is out because we have a huge stack up on the backstretch between Brown in the silver and blue number 9 and DJ Dean on the backstretch. And, big development there. We just saw it, the number 24, your points leader, the number 24 of Austin Jones.
That's
not your points leader. I'm sorry. He's like second points.
But the 50-lap winner, the biggest race of the year for these street stocks. So
that's Jordan Atkins' bumper.
That's Jordan Atkins' bumper. That's on the, okay. So let's back this up. So there's a stack up towards the back of the field, right about where Austin Jones's car is now. Brandon Brown got into the back of somebody in his blue and silver and white number 9. DJ Dean got into the back of Brandon Brown. They came to a dead stop on the racetrack, so they delayed the restart. And I wonder if maybe further up in that accordion before they got into it, if Atkins and Jones made any contact there. And somehow the rear bumper is off. And we brought up the Michael Adams incident from last year. Immediately, I think of that again. And by the way, under caution, we have the fans with their lights out going full concert style and serenading us with a shower of little fireflies almost all over the place. As Andy Southern is going to get a talking to from the officials. So about 4 or 5 different things happening here that we're all trying to keep track of. I wonder if that was a little bit of a discussion to just mind your P's and Q's on the restart and make sure you maintain pace speed as you come to the restart zone so that you don't end up with accordion stack-ups like we just saw in the back of the field. My hunch is that the conversation that was just happened between Southern and the official probably went along those lines.
It's amazing because this having some technicalities tonight. So he's at the back side of the fans, so you really can't tell from his angle. But where we are in the press box, it's amazing to look out there and see 15,000 people and probably about like half of them with their cell phone lights out. The bumper has been removed for the backside of the Mountain Fried Chicken, number 24 of Austin Jones. That's good for him.
Chicken bone, maybe?
Hey, you know what? I was at North Wilkesboro yesterday.
As was I.
And I was, yes, and you were, yeah. And I was in turn 3. I was going to shoot the start. Mm-hmm. And there was a gentleman up there and his wife. He was in bib overalls, and he offered me a water. What a fine gentleman he was. He used to be really close personal friends with Junior Johnson. His dad actually served time with Junior for the moonshine deal. But what was interesting was we got to know each other within about 20 minutes. And his wife just looked at me and said, "Hey, how about you have a chicken wing?" And she opened up this styrofoam, and it just doesn't get much better than eating a chicken wing and throwing the
Wilkesboro are set where the old Junior Johnson grandstand
Yes,
used to be
yeah.
over
I
by
was
the
right
entrance
near
turn
that,
3.
yeah.
Same spot. So
And I was hanging with one of Junior's friends. That's really cool.
circular moment as the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle pulls off to the infield. We go back to green flag racing. 5 here in East Southern with the opportunity to go clean and restart for everybody else. Kendall Craig Hartless and Austin Jones immediately off to give chase as Kyler Staley immediately looking to the inside of Jordan Atkins and will get the spot. And can Atkins find a way down to the inside here in front of Brian Robertson? No, this could be bad for Atkins. Atkins may be set to lose a ton of spots here.
Man, great job by our camera person there following that action. You see Staley going by, and you see back there Jordan Atkins continuing to lose spots. She is stuck on the outside there. Battle is on back in front for second place. Austin Jones is to the bottom of Kendall Craig Hartless down the front straightaway.
Austin Jones with a good run on the inside to clear Kendall Craig Hartless. And now you've got the two effective teammates. They share notes, they share setups, and now it's going to be Andy Southern and Austin Jones eventually fighting for the win. What kind of lap times do we see Jones put down now that he finally has some clear racetrack? Other than that, not really another battle around this famed quarter mile, save for Jordan Atkins, who continues to lose spots and has not found a way. Finally gets down to the inside, but I believe when all is said and done, Jordan Atkins goes from second to ballpark, I believe, maybe 12th or 13th, just off of a quick count.
Yeah, right now, the other female in the field, Emily Lewis, goes for a spin cycle in the infield grass, and you saw it was right in front of Christian Joyce, who started in the 18th position and has really only been able to move up until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, live counting, 11th position. And we have DJ Dean, who's also stuffed into the Koger Plumbing little barrier
over there by the pit entry.
Yeah, man, our camera, I got to say this. We've had technical difficulty. I'm just going to say we have, because it's if you're watching, you've noticed it. And our camera people and our staff has really hung in there tight. And our camera person over there in turn number 2, the south turn, is doing a wonderful job tonight, listening and trying to show you all the action. That's not an easy job, folks, to go from this to that and not miss stuff. So great job by everybody.
Fabulous work here. A lot of really talented people on the team and a lot of folks that work here for our friends at NASCAR throughout things. But a big shout out to our two camera people this evening, Jason Alsabaugh and Aaron Stevens, who have been the magic behind the pictures that you've seen from a busy night here at the Madhouse with a really good crowd as the lights are off on the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. 16 laps up on the board, 20 laps in total for the Street Stocks, the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series. So not a lot of time, but Austin Jones is going to love this because the gap that Indy Southern had completely cut down, and these the opportunity to go after it.
10 laps down, 10 laps to go. The fans are eating it up. The green flag flies. Southern leads Jones, leads Hartless, Staley, Bryant Robertson, the K-Train, and now trying to get underneath the K-Train is Brad Lewis.
Big battles. They're waiting for anything to pop up towards the pointy end of the field. Best we've got really might be Brian Robertson and K-Train, and that's for about the 5th position.
You know, the black and blue 72 and the silver number 13 car, and Halvey goes for a spin cycle a la laundromat of dirt and smoke on the backstretch.
Wouldn't be a great Clips Crash Fest without some torn up grass on the backstretch, no?
Yeah, old Halvey's had him a season, huh? With the gentleman that's at Bike Week right now.
Dog pile of emotion.
And he took a vacation. Halvey had a vacation. You know what I'm talking about. A little suspension. A little vacation. I teased him about it today. I said, "Did you enjoy your vacation?" And he told me, and he winked, and he said, "Ho, ho, 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 I sure did." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And he was like, "I'll tell you later." So, yeah. Must have been something good.
as we will see. Also, worth noting, good catch and good eye by Justin Mincy because the 13, the 16, and the 99. So if you're keeping track of things, that's Kevin Gilbert, Brad Lewis, and Brian Sykes Jr. And those three, as it stands, 1, 2, and 3 in points. Sykes leads by 10 over Gilbert, and then Brad Lewis back by, I believe, 16. So a tight group there. And you've got Andy Southern and Austin Jones, who Southern's tied for 4th with Kyler Staley on 122. Austin Jones is 6th with 116, and they both have an opportunity to gain on the points lead. Pace car in. Green flag back out now. Good restart for just about everybody in the top 5. Maybe safe for Kyler Staley as one car gets stopped up in the back. We may get a quick caution. Yet stays out of the racing group, so we say racing.
Shoup is stopped in the north turn, trying to get that car turned around. The leaders circulating the track right now. Yellow flag is out.
Had to give a moment there to get Shoup just the opportunity to turn around. Didn't have enough time to get that car looped around without potentially getting right in the way of traffic in the north turn. So no choice but to throw the caution flag here and give him the opportunity to get sorted. So all eyes on Andy Southern at the front of this field. This is going to be fun because we've hinted at a little bit in this race, but Matthew, it's a really, really close relationship that Andy Southern and Austin Jones share. And there haven't really been too many instances, I think, over the last few years, because Austin's attention was split last year. Back refocused on this program to race each other directly. But here we are. We're going to have a head-to-head shootout between these two very close friends.
And what a season last year. 5 laps to go. Andy Southern, rookie competitor in 2024, rookie of the year, and also 5-win season. You didn't have that in the prediction bank going into the season. That driver coming from the stadium stock ranks just kind of shows you, that you could start in the stadium stocks, you could start in the lower divisions and start to work your way up and have green flag, 5 laps to go.
Good jump there for Andy Southern. Austin Jones able to stay with trouble, though. Further back, Christian Joyce in trouble. Christian Joyce has hit the fence right over by the exit at turn 4. Call 811 before you get caution comes out, but that one will shake up things, and that's a tough break for Christian Joyce, who I spoke to earlier today. He was incredibly excited, had a new motor in, had this motor that was the one that powered this car to back-to-back titles in this division in 23 and 24, put in, so he's back with the old motor this race, and really was excited about the speed that it had, but it just has not fallen his way tonight. Did not get a good draw in qualifying, started at the tail end of the field, shotgun on it entirely, and now caught up in an incident with heavy damage to the left front of that blue and orange and silver number 1 at the very end of the street stock race.
The Hot Rod Barn hero, a 2-time defending champion. I asked him the other week, is there something wrong? And he was like, no, it's just bad luck. And the bad luck continues tonight for the Hot Rod Barn hero. Let's go to a quick break on Flow Racing, and we'll be back on Flow Racing with the remainder of this street stock event.
Welcome back to coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series from Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Lap 16 on the board in this QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series feature. Modern Chevrolet pace cars in. Andy Southern leads us back to green, and that was a good jump for Austin Jones, who is going to be right on the rear deck lid.
Big wreck here in the north turn, though. Will throw the yellow once again. Man, we just can't get racing, can we? It's Bryant Robertson and Emily Lewis. Emily Lewis now climbing from her race car, the number 4 car with Sully from Monsters, Inc. on it. She gets out of there. The daughter of Brad Lewis climbs from her number 4 in the U.S. Unlimited Services Just Chillin' lawn care machine, tosses her helmet into the race car. Now talking inside the right window, checking on Bryant Robertson, waving that she's okay.
Little salute to the fans there. Thanks for their support before she takes off. A lot of frustration, though, no doubt, I think, with Emily Lewis. A tough night for a lot of these drivers in this QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series field. A lot of carnage.
Time limit. The checkered flag is out. Crossing the finish line right now. And the checkered flag is being displayed to Andy Southern. Time limit, shortening this race by 3 laps. And the number 17 on lap number 17 gets win number 1 of 2025.
Figured it might be coming for a bit, and he'll take a spin in the infield grass and have a little bit of fun with this, as Andy Southern is going to make his first trip in this calendar year to Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane. Really broke through last year with a great performance, multi-time winner in 2024, and now he's going to have the opportunity to celebrate, and look who he is going to go right near. Southern was very visible in the celebrations when Austin Jones won the 50-lapper a few weeks ago, and here's Austin Jones looking like he's getting ready to repay the favor here now that Southern has found his way to victory lane for the first time in 2025.
Great moment right there for those teammates. Jones with the big victory this year already in the 50, and now Southern enjoying the winner's celebration here. I think his car is stalled.
Good. If you're going to have that problem, have it after the racing is done. But the caution's bringing a time limit ends to this race. Gets cut a little bit short, but we've got more racing in the program to come here as Austin Jones is going to climb out of the car.
It's getting pushed.
And
there's Randy and Eric Messer, the track photographer. Look, I'm working hard.
Short track spirit there. Everybody piling in to make sure we can keep the show moving. So, if anything, Corey Latham's the slacker just taking the photos, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You know, there's a few people there just standing around.
Never done anything. No, we in fairness, we love Corey and all the great content he provides here. Great follow on social. If you haven't had the chance to go take a look at Corey Latham. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam, who's going to join Andy Southern in Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane.
Up the second 15 lap, the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series. We've got time for one question for Andy Southern. Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Andy, picking up his baby there. Andy, career win number 6. Career win number 6. I know you want to thank your sponsors. We're a little short on time, buddy.
Tracy's Towing, Austin Jones, Todd, Chris, Ashley, everybody, Braden, Jacob Brooks, Speed 3D Printing, Committed Industries, and Todd's Racing Engines. That's another one, too, baby. Thank y'all.
Congratulations, Andy.
Stadium stock feature, and oh boy, Demo Derby excitement coming soon. the Stadium Stalkers at the Q104 Victory Lane. Oh, those guys are having fun down there on Flow Racing. And had historic moments. We've had Banana Lands finishes, ones that are for the ages. I was talking to somebody that was here for the first time earlier today, and I was like, you're going to see something, even if the racing, is an average night, you're going to see something here that you'll never forget. And we've seen plenty of that tonight.
Burt Myers makes history. Lap traffic shaking up a whole sportsman finish. And more action here for the Q04 or Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series.
All right, let's give you the starting lineup. On the pole will be the number 86 MTB Productions Machine, Dakota Mellor. And then to the right of that number 86 machine will be the 69, the Knot Rod, Brandon Krotz.
Starting in third out of Walburg, North Carolina, racing for B&A Cheating in Air. It's the 36 of Austin Long. Starting in fourth out of Lexington, North Carolina, representing Tri-City Plumbing. It's the 81 machine of Chuck Wall.
Colton Brown's number 46 starts fifth, and to the outside it will be the number 5 winner last week. It's Connor Keaton.
Starting in seventh out of Mocksville, North Carolina, racing for Hill Build It Creations. It's the Slim Reaper, number 1, Grayson Keaton. And starting in eighth out of Boonville, North Carolina, racing for Ellis Tire and Auto. It's the number 60 of Brad Michalowski.
Luke Smith's beautiful number 80 starts ninth to the outside. The Tysinger Lawn Care 27 for Big Brother Austin Cates.
Starting in 11th in the number 95 with the Lightning McCreen Lightning Bolts on the side, racing for GT Raps out of Curtisville, North Carolina, Levi Holt. And starting in 12th, driving the number 22 Tux Detailing car out of Curtisville, North Carolina, Peanut Baker.
Starting in position number 13, the Cowboys Garage 26 of Ricky Wall. And then to the outside, coming back in the Redneck Race Parts number 9, it's awesome, Robbie Shrewsbury.
Final car, 15th on the grid, driving the number 10 machine. It's Light Bright. It's J.B. Lineberry, who will go shotgun on the field and represent his fabulous partner in this race, Young T Custom.
All right. Stadiums for you. We could have a first-time winner on that front row. Well, we could have a first-time winner behind it with Austin Long. You've got the great Chuck Wall in this race as well. The feel-good story would be Brandon Krotz, who nearly lost his life in this offseason last year. On the outside in that number 69 Mad Discs machine. He comes to the green and takes the lead at the start. 3 wide into the south turn. Chuck Wall comes to second position. Long into third, and a spinner. The Tysinger Lawn Care machine is in the grass. Here comes Wall to the lead.
Chuck Wall wasting no time. Back in front is the Greg Butcher Trucking number 81. Austin Long took them 3 wide on the inside. Get a great behind that machine. It is the number 1 and the number 5 going to town. The Keaton brothers beginning to make things happen, and a black flag out for somebody.
I don't know if that's the 5. I think they're calling Connor Keaton with a black flag. He pulls off to the inside, does Keaton. Keaton will have to go to the pit area. He is stopping on the racetrack. Yellow flag is out. Connor Keaton has been black flagged.
Officials claiming he jumped the start when we got going there just a few laps ago, so he'll pull it off into the work area. The rest of the field will catch up to the rear of the modern Chevrolet pace car.
Whew.
Catch your breath, right?
I mean, sometimes
there's a lot that happened in that just 3 laps.
We
right?
talk about big point swings.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You got your second place points man that just got black flagged on a restart at the start of the stadium stock race. So now he's in the pit area and he has to rejoin the back of the field. So that's a huge swing.
Big moments all around here for a lot of folks. A lot of competition here to come our ways. Lights are off on the modern Chevrolet Pace. I guess SUV, if we're going to be really fair and honest about it, the Chevy Blazer that Jimmy Absher loves to pilot around this third, and Chuck Wall will have the honor of leading this field back to green on lap 3 as Connor Keaton will just make it out in to be nearly a full lap behind, and that might be the reason why they just called off the restart.
That was the right thing to do. Okay, by the time Keaton was able to even get around, it was such a quickie caution. Really, in some ways, you might say wasn't fair. He didn't have to do any work to his race car. He did come back around and did re-enter the track, but that could have presented a little bit of a situation there. So great job by NASCAR officials here at Bowman Gray.
Lights still on. I think they're going to try and organize this as best they can. Figure out where we end up placing Connor Keaton in the running order, and once we do that, we'll figure it out. Lights are already off the modern Chevrolet Pace SUV vehicle. Might as well just make it a bit here at this point in the evening. As Chuck Wall will lead us to green, then Brandon Krotz, then Austin Long, then Grayson Keaton, and then I believe that might be Brad Michalowski right up there, and Luke Smith.
Ben Brown, Tim Brown's brother, watching with his feet up. He's had some surgery recently. Loving watching the flow racing coverage right now. And he's watching as lap 3, the restart here. Chuck Wall first to the loud pedal.
Chuck Wall with a good run there, good restart. Longtime veteran, former champion of this division with a good restart to roll off. Big battle, though, here for third. Look at Grayson Keaton going to the inside of Austin Long. Might get a little bit of help there in the center of the corner. He may get shoved through to third.
Luke Smith all over the back bumper of the Slim Reaper, trying to get him some extra oomph there in the north turn. And now a little bumper tag. Austin Long, the sophomore sensation, on the outside, doing it the hard way. Great job by him, but give the spot to the Slim Reaper. Here's Luke Smith to the bottom.
Luke Smith with that good run. Black flag for somebody. That might have been still Connor Keaton. So race officials may not have been happy the way he tried to serve that penalty. They're watching him. We're keeping our eyes, though, on this great battle here. Chuck Wall's driven off the front a little bit, but it is maybe 3 or 4 car lengths between second, third, and fourth.
I believe it is the number 5 getting DQ, black flagged. Wow. Oh, there's Luke Smith getting to the backside of the Slim Reaper and give him the spot.
Luke Smith now in a podium position, and now the 46 machine towards the back of the field getting a black flag too. A little bit slower than I think officials would like, so keeping an eye on that. Here is this battle, though. All these great fights all across the track, and all eyes watching Krotz and Luke Smith and Grayson Keaton. Everybody from second on back is backed up into a cluster with one another as Chuck Wall is driven away.
So the question is, was the black flag for Keaton? Or is the black flag for the 46? The 46 is leaking fluid around that track, but the battle is on right now for second and third and fourth. It's a ferocious one, and here comes the Slim Reaper to the bottom of the knot rod.
Yep. Krotz back to, I believe, fifth now. Michalowski made the pass as well. Chuck Wall trying to fight through lap traffic. Luke Smith trying to run him down. 5 laps left on the board here.
Yeah, the 46 was dumping something. It almost looked like fuel, like there was no cap on the top of the fuel cell possibly. So he is being black flagged, and so I don't believe that Connor Keaton was actually the one that was black flagged before that, but oh boy, it looked like it because they were pointing right out of his car 2 consecutive laps. But 11 right now at the front of this field. He's got about a 12-car length lead on Luke Smith.
Chuck Wall continuing to roll here, looking for another win. I believe his first win of the season, potentially in competition here at Bowman Gray Stadium in the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series. Seconds, excuse me. We'll check the math, check the numbers here after this, because this goes green. All he has to do is execute. He's got half a straightaway on Luke Smith and no lap traffic immediately ahead of him as Chuck Wall takes the white flag.
The Buzz Bombers create a lot of excitement, but every once in a while, you get a little bit of domination, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. Really, the person it's not bad for and the person it's best for is the driver of that number 81. And right now, Chuck Wall takes the checkered flag for win number 36 of his illustrious career.
One of the best to do it in the history of this division at Bowman Gray Stadium. Chuck Wall, 36 wins in stadium stock competition at Bowman Gray Stadium. And he now is within 2 of Randy Moore for second place in
a four-time champion of this division. Is, of course, Little Donuts on that car. I miss Little Donuts. I see it right there on the left side of the car. Whew, that's tough to see. Greg Butcher Trucking also on this machine. Velocita, Tri-City Plumbing. But Chuck Wall, 4 wins last year, but he had an up-and-down season. Not one of, by Chuck Wall standards at times, but Chuck Wall with a second win so far this season. It's a great deal for him to be having this mojo so early.
If I didn't know any better, I saw you, and you almost had a glazed look in your eyes. You looked at that Little Donuts logo down in the infield.
It was maple glazed, to be honest.
Maple glazed, perhaps.
Yeah, toss it down because I'm going to daydream about donuts.
Chuck Wall picking up what I believe is win number 36 in his Stadium Stock career. He is also a 4th Stadium Stock Series. As he climbs out of the cockpit, ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Wall. Chuck Wall, sorry, we're going to have to be brief. We're running on some time constraints. Congratulations on win 36. I know you want to thank your sponsors.
Oh, yeah, I can't do it without them. I got to thank my family first and my crew. They're the ones who work on this thing. I think we're going to go home and we're going to tear it apart and we're going to try to make it better. Got to thank Greg with Greg Butcher Trucking, Adam with John Baker Plumbing, Jimmy and Teresa with J&T Services, and I'm supposed to thank Bad Brad first with Velocity for hooking me up with all the threads, Little Donuts. I hope I ain't forgot nobody.
Congratulations.
Let's go to break, because when we come back, no weak links. Chain race is next. Oh, boy. This is going to be fun, folks. This is going to be fun. Great Clips Crash Fest at Bowman Gray Stadium. The fans have not left. That's because, well, we've got some crashing to do. And guess what? Ashley Schaefer Kia. Right there, if you're a fan of Ashley Schaefer BMW, but now Ashley Schaefer Kia, we've got a Kia in the chain race. Look at that. A Kia Soul.
We used to say amongst my friends, we believe in the front of these two cars.
Is that Jesse Love in the second car?
No, it's Chris Bass. But
okay.
That is Danny Stockman, Jesse Love's crew chief in the Xfinity Series, starting on the inside there.
Longtime crew chief with Austin Dillon as well.
Mm-hmm. And here we go. We've got all sorts of Corey Wyatt and Corey Coffey, the Coreys in the 70 and 12 combo. The 67 and the 1 with that Kia. It's Kenny Flippin.
Oh, Kenny
and
Flippin.
Hutton. And then Colton Beeben and Brandon Brown in this
Yellow
12-20.
thing.
Yeah, something.
That's going to take the lead right now.
We'll figure
Corey
it out.
Wyatt right now is up front. He's going to try to go for the sweep, but right now, trying to sweep the chain is that second place machine. Beeman.
This is where it gets fun because front car is the gas, rear car is the brakes, and you just never know how this is going to go or not go.
Danny Stockman is a way better crew chief than a chain racer. I think he's like back in the back trimming his toenails or something. He's not going worth a darn. He's not even in the screen.
Got a little tire
rub.
Got a little tire rub over there.
Oh, Corey Wyatt's getting past. Here comes that Kia. Kia Power.
Truly getting drug along.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Don't underestimate the soul.
Oh, the chain got broke.
We've lost our soul.
And the 67 goes in the fence too.
Oh, the soul's gone.
So that will, in theory, disqualify that car. So
even though it's the first
gone. Yeah, 67 gone and in the fence.
What's he doing? What is he even doing in there?
Trying to survive as best he can. And he just hit the leaders.
He just hit the leaders,
and they're still chained together.
What is he doing?
Trying to keep going here. The problem is he's actually legitimately influencing the race.
Does he not realize that he lost his soul?
Right. And they're trying to wave him down in the infield, too. Just out a shot, trying to tell him, hey, you're not racing anymore because you've lost your trail car, so it's these two.
Soul.
This is the battle for the lead.
Oh, side by side for the lead. What a barn burner we have in the chain race.
Tony Johnson Sr. and, I believe, Sweeney Morales. And they got loose, and that opened up the door for White Coffee, and they turn around.
Hang on for dear life. That used to be Adam Moore's seat, and he's probably loving the fact that he's not in that crazy thing right now.
Sliding all over the place. So 20 off that 70-12 partnership and keep the chain tied in. There's one chain keeping both of these cars together. They almost get locked into it with one another. And if anything, that may have brought the Stockmans back into this. Look at this. The RCR cars are coming back into this, and it may be a three-chain battle for the race lead coming to the white flag here at Bowman Gray.
Don't count out RCR. Well, maybe count them out now because they just spun into the inside of the grass.
Oh, now there goes the spin and the slide, and that may tear the chain and change everything up at the front.
Big-time contact towards the front of this field. The fans are on their feet. Out of control is Johnston.
And the 28s have split out of the way, so it's the 70 and the 12. The RCR teammates, Stockman and Bass, are currently second in this race, but they've got to run down the 70 and the 12. That was the halfway flag there. Major tire rub on the 28s. Whether or not they can find a way back into this, I'm not sure. But the RCR driver is trying to run this down. They're starting to find some speed. They're figuring this out in the second half of the race. It's a straightaway gap as it stands. And all you have to do, if you're the 70 and the 12, is just execute. But the RCR drivers, they are burning proper rubber down the straights.
Do you smell donuts?
Of both the tire and edible kind, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I smell the donut because they're burning it right there. Danny Stockman's smoking. I smell donuts.
Right. So will they have an opportunity? Now, again, if you're the 70-12, it's just execution, execution, execution. All you have to do. Now 70 times 2, half a lap away from the first chain race victory of 2025, and uncontested in the second half of this race. A valiant charge from Team RCR, but it's not enough as the Corey squad. And now they'll come across the line and finally complete this race, take the checkered flag to a round of applause.
Who's in the trunk, Stockman? What you got in there, buddy? Danny Stockman, veteran crew chief, a winner from the Truck Series through Xfinity to Cup. And I don't know what's going on right here, but there is a lot of craziness going on. Corey Wyatt trying to attempt the sweep, has won both events so far in Great Clips Crash Fest. Third chain race win. And for the person that he was dragging, Corey Coffey, his first one. Oh, there's Danny Stockman climbing out. And there's Corey Wyatt, the winner. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. Or something about feet.
Good day to be a Corey.
Great day to be a Corey.
Great day to be a Corey.
I'm not a Corey, but
neither am I.
I have donuts, so life is good. I'll be back, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say. I am going to mute my mic. Have fun.
All right. So, welcome to the I guess, Pike experience here. Late night at Bowman Gray on Flow, as we've got celebrations here with the Corey Squared, and that leaves us with one race left. But it's not really a race.
I'm back. I only had one.
It's a demolition derby. Well, welcome back. How was your adventure?
It was a maple glazed on it.
Ooh, my favorite.
Your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
What is Corey Wyatt doing?
Celebrating.
Corey Wyatt is going to let family in, and he's hugging. Oh, that's great. Gotta love that. Family moments here. I wonder if he's going to be in the demo derby. I don't have a roster for the demo derby.
The RCR team just read their motor up here on the front stretch to a big round of applause from a lot of the fans here. Neat thing. Big crowd on hand tonight, as you said, as they're now going up to the fence to celebrate with the fans here.
Doing?
They're just showing some love to the fans and getting a lot of love and appreciation here.
I was going, I have to paint those walls.
Right. But neat thing here. And
boy.
You pointed out a little bit earlier, Dillner. Big crowd on hand tonight. All-Star, 45 minutes up the road. Barely any of them have left. There's still about, I'd say, 14,000 people still in the stands here ready for the Demolition Derby to close out the evening here on Great Clips Crash at Gray Stadium. No, I'm not saying that 10 times fast because I truly don't think I could get it done more than once and not make some sort of error in that.
Hey, Mincy. Come here. Come here, Mincy.
So as Justin Mincy will shuffle across.
Justin Mincy, tell us, there's been some amazing moments in Demolition Derby history, including some real big race car drivers, big-time race car drivers that entered demo derbies back in the day, and only you would have Demolition Derby history. It's so impressive.
Yeah, it dates back to the very fun with Shorty York winning the first one on July 31st, 1954, and Bobby Myers won the second one. Yes,
Modified great Bobby Myers.
Yes. He won the second one August 21st, 1954. Then you got Pee Wee Jones, Jim Brewer, Max Barrier. His brother, Robert Barrier, he also won some. Like, the names go on and on. And Don Smith.
Don Smith, yeah.
Don Smith.
Okay.
Bubba Beck. He tied. He tied with Steve Stanberry for a win. Bubba Beck won another one. Spider Kimmel and Don Smith. They tied for one. Like, the names go on and on.
Right.
Like, it's crazy the deep dive that I have been able to do to figure out all this stuff with the they call it sideshow, but no, it's specialty, novelty, whatever.
And to find this information, Justin, you've done a lot of research in old Winston-Salem Journal articles in particular to get the results and to get some of this data from 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Yes, like, thank you to Matthew for introducing me to newspapers.com. I did not know about it previously. Like, I was going based off the old programs, then newspapers.com. Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
So how about it? We're going to have a lot of fun. That is our stat assistant, Justin Mincy. You don't hear his voice a lot, but you hear his stats a lot, and it's a person team here in the booth at Bowman Gray.
100%.
Not. We are the voices, Diller and I, but Mincy is every bit as integral to this operation as we go. It's
all
time.
The cars are on the backstretch right now.
Right, and they are counting down, and we are getting ready to
start
the demo derby in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
The Kia is in the grass. What are you doing, Kia? Kia's like got the light on, running away from everybody like he's a darn cop.
So that's the backstretch bumper. Now, rules for the demo derby: you're not supposed to go on the grass here. No, what a hit! What a hit! Brilliant work there from the Kia to go rear end first and save the hood, especially in a front engine car. You want to do more of the damage with the rear bumper than the front, as the Kia is going to come around here.
Watch the Kia, the soul stripper.
Oh, and now there's trouble there. That tire got cut and got bent pretty bad, and I think that Kia could be in big trouble.
Man. Yep. Gosh, watch out.
Everybody ganged up on it. That is not a gateway to opportunity.
Bunch of people that don't like Kias, apparently.
Yeah. Poor Kia is now just America over there.
Isn't it a Korean car, dude?
Exactly. That's the point.
How is that the brilliance of America? The brilliance is in a heap, and it's got AAA on it, so he's going to have to get a tow out of here. Bye-bye. Oh, there's a Pinto out here?
You
want to talk about American brilliance, buddy.
Right.
We've got the 8-ball Pinto out there.
Keeping an eye on who's torn up. The key is out of contention. We got a few cars going into the grass. Everybody trying to rear end one another. Big contact in the middle there. The red car, the purple and gold car in there, and all sorts of stuff that we need to worry about. Justin Mincy, what are you seeing?
Well, big hit over here in turn 1. I just want to point out that, the Pinto that just got hit, it's the legendary Demo Derby guy of 8-ball, as he's affectionately known. You can see right there on screen. It's PJ Lucas. In the deep dive of my history, I've got PJ with 15 Demo Derby wins here at Bowman Gray. So he knows what to do. He knows how to do it.
The question is whether or not he has the opportunity to finish this off, because part of the battle here in the Demo Derbies is just staying alive. Yes, you want to take people out. You don't necessarily want to be the first one to go, oh, that's a bad hit for PJ, though.
Yeah.
Big rear end shot there. I worry about the drivability of that Pinto.
Ooh, he's trying. He's trying to get going. Let's see. Ooh, big hit over there in turn 2.
Number 2, big. The poor Pinto getting stuffed there, but
PJ. Jimmy's telling him to get back on the track,
Trying to keep it off the grass here and save whatever grass we have left over in 1 and 2 is some of these cars trying to avoid. All right, you've got
there's PJ, he's back.
Most of your battle here over in the middle of the south turn. Cars starting to come. Now PJ working towards the backstretch, and a lot of these cars starting to move more towards turn 2. Get a good wide shot here, and you see the action. PJ trying to push the car that got him.
So what I'm seeing here is the cars going to the backstretch.
Mm-hmm.
They pull forward so they can get away from getting hit.
Right.
So then they can reset, then go straight back.
Essentially sort of reset themselves and get them so sorted. So now you've got this whole group of cars here. PJ takes another hit.
Yes. Let's see. Well, what is – I can't tell what that is. It's a wagon of some sort, but can't really tell. You can see –
Oh, big shot there. Big shots here in the turn.
Big shot here in turn 1. You can see this car right here is looks like 24. Little Tony Johnson Jr. He's being motioned by Jimmy Brown to go back.
Right.
Because all the action's over here. Like, quit trying to snooker or trying to hide.
Right.
Trying to hide and get back.
Gotta play. Now you got one car up against the fence.
Let's see.
Oh, another shot there for PJ. Man.
Jeez. But PJ, he's got that bar going across the top of the car. That's another big hit. Like, another huge hit for PJ. But that car is durable. They put that bar across the top, so it's for protection, so the cars don't cave in.
Yeah,
it's like extra roll bar, pretty much, kind of like a Nerf bar for the roof.
Yeah, no, exactly. Perfect analogy there, Justin.
And
so
you see Jimmy right here on screen. He's black. He's black flagging the 24. He's telling 24, you're done. You're done.
24 is just a gigantic geyser of radiator fluid just about over there. So not much more you can do about that, right?
Oh, yeah, not much more. Oh.
Nice there.
Trying to tell who it is, but you can't really tell. There's 4 cars now. So we have 3 team cars there.
Right.
Now, could that be?
Oh, look at this. Look at how they're all going to gang up on them, and they may take themselves out in the process.
Oh, man, that looks like the Netteron Autodrome over in Europe, where they do all these crazy derby type events.
I keep thinking Indianapolis Speedrome a little bit.
Yes.
I know they're one for our producer Lucas Kaler, who's got a long history with that place. And now we've got at least 1 car, 2 cars here. We're trying to see who's going to get pulled back to the backstretch.
Yeah, the same 4 cars. They're still going. And Jimmy's telling them guys, get back. Like, you don't want to go too far. And look, they're trying to neutralize the 38 car, it looks like. So it's going to come down to the team cars.
Okay, the team cars just hit each other on the exit of the south turn. They're looping back around here. Are they at the point where they're just going after each other, or are we still trying to go 3-on-1 quickly?
3-on-1 right now. And you can see this one car.
Oh, there we go, man.
Oh, there we go. We have some hits now. That one car over here in the grass, he is just done. He's trying to save himself. You got
trying to get out of the way.
Yep, trying to get out of the way.
It's like a 3-on-1 Mario Party minigame. That's exactly what it is. So the children of the 90s and the millennials out there will get that one.
Yeah, they will.
If you don't, go look it up on YouTube. Fun time. So we've got now 2v1 effectively at this point.
Yep.
And one that's really second. We're just trying to get the win. It's sort of like a co-opetition at a plate track, and you hit the final few laps, and it's like, all right, teamwork doesn't matter. Now it's time for me to go get the glory, right?
Yeah, and you see, that's one thing you want to try to aim for in a derby is hit the front tires.
Right.
Just like with the Kia here, you want to hit that left front or right front, break that tie rod, snap it. They're neutralized pretty much.
Either
They're
that,
done.
or if you can get a clean hit with the rear end and go right into somebody's radiator and back it up.
Yeah,
and get the radiator knocked out. That's the other way to get it done. So, little cat and mouse game over in the south turn. As I think these might be the 2 cars left. We got one of them that just got the black flag. So
we're down to the final 2.
This is the final countdown over here. And how does this end over
the cat and mouse.
in the south turn? They're going to bring this around to the front stretch here.
Yeah.
For the fans, I see everybody in the infield, all the camera people trying to figure this out. Some of the drivers at the race cheering them on. A little spin cycle there.
Spin them out.
Spin action.
But he did.
Try to go for the tie rod.
Yep.
Just follow the strategy that you had. Some of the drivers cheering on these two. They'll back it into the fence and then try and back it off each other. 38's got a flat right front.
Yep.
All 4 tires, I think, working. On the 28, there's a big shot from the front to the rear of the 28. He may get shoved into the fence.
Yep.
This may be the final shot of the demo derby.
Oh, no.
He lets off the hook, though. How close was that?
And what I seen was the 28, his right front is down.
Right.
It looks like.
Yeah.
So the 38, he has a right rear down. So where these are front-wheel drive cars,
right?
So it makes it harder for the front-wheel drive cars.
And you'd rather have the rear down in this case
yes.
than the front, right? Exactly, because you've got a little bit more ability to control the thing.
Exactly.
So this should, in theory, be advantage 28, I would think, right?
Yes.
Just a little bit.
You would think.
A little bit of donuts in the grass action over here. Right in front of the little donut station.
There's the tire.
Donuts. We did not plan that up.
Matthew Dooner did that.
Matthew wiping his brow. He's got a donut in his hands, trying to.
He's over there laughing like, yeah, I drew that up.
Exactly. So here we go. Now to the back straightaway. They still have not been able to separate each other, and so at some point you're gonna have to use one of these cars as a pick. I think there you go. Rear end shot. Good work there for the red and black car to finally get a good hit in on the 38 there.
And I noticed that left front is actually a tractor tire.
Right. So a little bit more durable, a little bit more sort of puncture resistant, as it were.
Yes.
Another hit there. Another big hit there. But is that it, though? Is that maybe,
watch.
Maybe, if he doesn't get moving, this could be curtains on the demo derby. Big shot there. That's got to be it. That has to be the end of it.
And let's keep our eye on Jimmy Brown in the yellow. Like, he's the one that's controlling all this.
Right.
He will tell you, like, come on, you got so many seconds.
Almost like a boxing sort of referee. That's the thing.
Like,
and that's,
come on, we need
Victorious by, I guess that counts as is it a proper
TKO?
Is it a TKO or a KO?
it could be a knockout.
Should be a knockout, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, Red and Black Machine gets it done. Justin Mincy, thank you for your helping hand in calling our first demo derby of the summer at Bowman Gray during Great Clips Crash Fest. Victorious there in the infield, celebrates with the fans. And Matthew Dillner, how about that as a way to end the night at the Madhouse here on a hot evening in May?
You know, I given the headset to old Justin Mincy. Nobody knows demo derbies like him. Let's give you a final thought here. The Great Clips Crash Fest was amazing. Congratulations to all of our winners.
And how about our winners? Burt Myers gets career win number 100, modified win 99. Lee Jeffries, the other modified winner. Daniel Dye, 1 for 1 in his Bowman Gray career, got a sports win alongside Zach Orr. Andy Southern gets it done in the street stocks. And then Bugs Tremiska and Chuck Wall, your winners in the stadium stocks. And I think the headline is going to be Burt Myers making history. Not every day you see somebody pick up 100 career wins at the stadium.
Burt Myers with the big historic win. Lee Jeffries winning a barn burner, and a barn burner also in the sportsman division. That, folks, is why they call it the Madhouse. Tomorrow, North Wilkesboro Speedway, NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour action. Of course, ARCA Menards Series West. Look at all the great NASCAR regional racing you can see. Of course, my home track on June 14th, my old home track, Riverhead Raceway. Next week, so much great racing, the modified 100s. Folks, get your butt to Bowman Gray Stadium and join the 17,000 faithful, the Madhouse Maniacs that watch the racing here at the famed quarter mile.
If you're making the trip here for Memorial Day weekend for the Coke 600, come up on Saturday night after the Xfinity race to Bowman Gray Stadium. The Sportsman's going to put on their first 100-lapper of the season. You're not going to be disappointed.
Watch some of this action right here that we saw tonight. The finishes of these modified races. Physical racing times 20. Folks, you got to get here. You got to see it to believe it. And if you can't get here, watch it live on Flow Racing. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner, for James Pike and our crew. Until next time, we'll see you at the races.